Wow. Oh. Of adjustments today. Oh, where is my thing? Where is this? Where is this? Ralph. Where's my thing?
It's Ralph's birthday today.
It's what?
It's his birthday today.
Oh.
Ralph and Corey Taylor have the same birthday.
Happy birthday, Ralph. This is Ralph's birthday. Tell Ralph happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ralph.
Ralph, it's your birthday.
Go, Ralph.
Trying to keep it a secret.
He was, and then I just now I just put him on blast in front of everybody.
You know, here we don't have any secrets.
And there's one for 4 points.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is the City of Dania Beach regular meeting. It is February the 24th, 2026. It is 7:01 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. City Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Davis.
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino.
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
Here.
Commissioner Romoli.
Here.
Commissioner Ryan.
Here.
City Attorney Bootsas.
Here.
City Manager Garcia.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum. Mayor, you have a quorum. I apologize.
Thank you so much, City Clerk. And you all are so good.
Yes.
If everyone could please bow your heads for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job, guys. I wish you guys could come every week in every commission meeting and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I heard you doing a great job. Great job in our schools. All right, if our city attorney could please read our statement of decorum.
Yes, Mayor. Individuals who wish to make any citizens' comments under that portion of the City Commission agenda or who otherwise want to address the City Commission must first be registered with the City Clerk. The forms are available outside of the City Commission chambers and must be given to the clerk during the meeting. Others who want to address the Commission on any matter must first be recognized by the Mayor. All such persons must use the podium in the Commission chamber. No more than one person at any time may address the Commission from the podium. Comments are only to be made to the City Commission and are not to be to be directed to the audience or city staff. No individual shall make any slanderous or unduly repetitive remarks or engage in any other form of behavior that disrupts or impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting as determined by the Mayor. The Mayor often allows applause during ceremonial or celebratory portions of the meeting, such as proclamations, presentations, awards, or public safety recognitions, as these are not action items and are intended to honor individuals or events. However, to safeguard an orderly meeting and to preclude intimidation of speakers on agenda items or designated public comments, the Mayor ordinarily precludes clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts during those portions of the meeting. Based upon the foregoing, no individual may speak directly to or address the Mayor and City Commission or City staff. Comments are only to be directed to the Commission as a whole. No clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outbursts in support of or in opposition to a speaker or his or her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or placards shall be permitted in the Commission chambers. If any person's conduct as determined by the Mayor is found to be disruptive or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, the person may be asked by the Mayor to leave the Commission chambers. If the person does not leave and the conduct persists, the City Police Department will be requested to escort the individual from the city's chambers. All cellular telephones are to be silenced during the meeting, and all persons exiting the Commission chambers shall do so quietly. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. All right, next we have item 3.1, and I just asked Commissioner Romoli, but I think the kids will correct me if I say it improperly. We have PAC 954. Webelos. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Cub Scouts, introduction and sponsored by Commissioner Romoli. Thank you, Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. The Webelos are in the house.
Yeah.
That's right.
Woo-hoo.
Well, it is really my honor and privilege to welcome you to the city of Dania Beach, parents and scouts from PAC 954. The Cub Scouts is a place where young boys and girls can learn valuable skills, make long life friends, and develop a sense of belonging. But it's also a place where the entire community can come together to support and nurture the next generation of our leaders. These Webelos are either in 4th or 5th grade and have joined us today to complete their My Community Advancement. Their My Community Advancement is all about being a good citizen. They need to learn about the different types of voting and how our government maintains the balance of power. Requirements to this advancement are, number one, first, they must participate in a service project. So before this meeting tonight, they, as I saw them out there working very hard, participated in a group trash cleanup of Southwest First and around our city hall, and they did a tremendous job. So I want to thank you all very much for that. Second, they need to speak to a local politician, which I guess was me, and who was elected to their position, and discuss how I was elected to that position, whether it was a plurality vote or majority or by a different means. And so I explained to them how we worked our voting system here in Dania Beach. And lastly, they had a group discussion on federal law. They spoke about the history of the law and how the three branches of government, our legislative, executive, and judicial, I can't say that word, judicial, and how it's involved. I hope that we have been able to help them learn a little bit about local government and how important it is to be involved in our community and a member and lead by example. So with that, I would like to also read this certificate of recognition that we'd like to present to you, Webelos. Certificate of recognition proudly presented to Webelos Scouts Club, Scouts Pack 954, in recognition of your determination and commitment to achieving your My Community adventure by completing your service project, by interviewing a local politician, learning about voting, and studying a federal law. Signed by our Mayor Joyce L. Davis and myself, Louis Romoli, Commissioner. If you all can come up now, we'll take a picture, okay?
All right. Woo-hoo.
I'm going to go down there. Squeeze me in. You're going to be right in the middle, okay? Squeeze right in. All right. Okay. Why don't you hold the certificate? Daniel, do you want to be part of this as well? Come on up. I want to get in front of us, okay?
He's a Boy Scout. Is he a Boy Scout?
All right, now look up. There you go. Ready? All right, guys, thank you very much. Bye, guys, thank you.
All right, great job, Webelos. Thank you for learning about government, and thank you, Commissioner Romoli, for bringing here and starting off our commission meeting on a positive note. Thank you. Next, we have another exciting presentation on item 3.2. It is our Dr. Martin Luther King Art and Essay Contest Award recipients. So you might have seen some of the artwork out there, but Parks and Recreation has been working very, very hard with all of our schools and our after-school programs, and we are very, very excited to hear from our very own Mr. Anthony Affetti.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and the citizens of Dania Beach. The City of Dania Beach wanted to do something impactful that would acknowledge one of the great leaders while educating the youth of our community and celebrating Black History Month by recognizing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We came up with an art and essay contest that allowed for young students to learn the significance of Dr. King and the impacts that he made. Over 300 pieces of artwork, along with essays, were submitted for viewing and judging, and we would like to recognize those students' pieces that stood out the most. Tonight, we are going to recognize the gold, silver, and bronze recipients. We would like to take the time to thank Dania Elementary, Collins Elementary, and our own Rising Stars participants for making this such an impactful learning experience.
And I am super excited to participate because I have the honor of presenting the first gold medal to the overall winning center. So this certificate is presented to our very own P.J. Millie Park Rising Star. Congratulations. Your certificate reads, congratulations on earning the gold medal in the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition, and for sharing Dr. King's dream through creativity, imagination, and heart. Give it up for our P.J. Millie Park winners.
Yes.
Well, they're the overall So, okay, yes.
Oh,
To
cool.
the end. So next, I am passing the baton to our very own Vice Mayor.
All right.
Uh-oh, he needs his mic, maybe.
Thank you, Mayor. This certificate of recognition, I'm very proud to present to Gianni Sayos. Sanis?
Yes! Woo! This is so exciting.
Here she comes.
Beautiful. All right.
Congratulations on earning the gold medal in the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition and sharing Dr. King's dream through creativity, imagination, and heart by the Mayor Joyce L. Davis. Here you go. Put that on your dress. You're welcome.
Congratulations, Dad. You too.
And next, we have our very own Commissioner Lori Llewellyn.
Thank you, Mayor. And I also have a gold medal for a certificate of recognition. And I'm very proud to announce this goes to Martin Karuba de Roma
Yes!
from Dania Elementary.
Yes! All right. This is, yes.
And the certificate of recognition that we're also going to give you, again, is proudly presented to you, Martin, with Dania Elementary School. Congratulations on earning the gold medal in the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition.
Yeah!
And I love to see his principal, Principal Billings here, and our assistant principal is also here from Dania Elementary. All right.
Congratulations, Mom.
Next, we have Commissioner Ramoli with the presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. I am very proud to present the certificate to Moises Martinez, Collins Elementary School.
All right!
Moises, congratulations on earning the gold medal in the 2026 Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition and for sharing Dr. King's dream through creativity, imagination, and heart. Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
All right! Congratulations. Beautiful.
And last but not least, we have another gold medal, our final one from Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a certificate of recognition proudly presented to Abigail Alexandra from Collins Elementary School.
All right!
Come on up, Abigail. No, she's not here? All right.
Aw.
Well, congratulations to her on earning a gold medal in the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition and for sharing Dr. King's dream through creativity, imagination, and heart.
Awesome.
Okay.
Principal and vice principal, you want to come on up in the group picture if we have any more school?
Let's get all the medalists here and their families. And their families too, right, Cassie?
Yep.
Parents,
Oh, and Principal
Principals,
Eames
yes.
is here from.
The parents too, the parents.
And vice principal, come.
Beautiful.
Oh, Miss Keenan, you too?
Beautiful.
Keenan. Come on up, Miss Keenan. You always like to be in the background. Come on up, Miss Keenan. She really does. Or she's coming.
But I need you guys to get in closer, parents and kids.
We're gonna have to get everybody.
This is a big group.
Yeah, we,
Start a second line.
kids, forward,
Kids forward.
kids forward.
Go silver next.
There we go. Kids forward.
City manager.
All right.
Smiling hard, boy. You got that award.
Way to go, gold winners. Smile.
have you.
Okay. Congratulations once again to all of our winners. Oh, that was just the gold.
That was just the goal. That was just the goal, Mayor.
We got a lot of talent here in Dania Beach. We got a lot of talent, a lot of art, a lot of essays. We got a lot of talent. So now on to our city manager is going to present the our first silver award.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It makes me extremely proud to welcome all of you today. And this certificate of recognition.
Hold on, city manager. I'm just saying we need to be able to hear you. And I know everybody's excited, but we're just going to get calm again. So the silver medalists need to hear their names called just as lovely as the gold. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay.
Okay.
So this certificate of recognition is proudly presented to the Frost Park Rising Stars as silver medalists. Congratulations. So who are the...
It's been a long day. Okay, we'll hold that for them.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm proud Principal Mike Billings from Dania Elementary. I would like to recognize for the Silver Award, Robert Aguilera. Also for silver, Gabriela Carriol.
Look how cute she is. Principal Eames.
Good evening. I am Theon Eames, a proud principal of Collins Elementary, and today we have Mr. Sincere Perry.
All right. Congratulations, Sincere. All right.
And we have Miss Belana Sanchez.
We got all the silvers. All right. Get ready to stay up there for one more photo. Another photo, I should say.
Well, parents, you can come in.
Oh, y'all can't leave yet. Y'all still got to do the bronze.
The parents can go behind you. Okay, look this way. Oh, little one ready? Hey, 1, 2, and 3. Very good. Congratulations, silver
Congratulations, everyone.
So proud of all of our silver medalists and silver winners. Thank you all. Thank you, parents. Thank you, principals. And I believe we still have our bronze medalists that we are going to recognize. So Ready to go when you are.
For bronze from Daniel Elementary School, Jessica Acosta.
Yeah, they are so happy. Congratulations.
And our other bronze medalist, Shanique Terry, who is absent. She's not here tonight, but I will take this back and make sure she gets this tomorrow.
Thank you, Principal Billings.
And our final bronze winner from Collins Elementary is Kamaria Henry.
Ooh, congratulations. That was it. Okay.
We have one more.
One more.
I'll be reading for C.W. Thomas. Matter of fact, Miss Thomas Taylor, could y'all go on up, please? Appreciate you all. So the last certificate that we're going to be giving out is going to go to C.W. Thomas Park. The certificate of recognition proudly presented to C.W. Thomas Park Rising Stars. Congratulations on earning the bronze medal in the 2026 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Art and Essay Competition, and for sharing Dr. King's dream through creativity, imagination, and heart.
Come forward a little bit and just move one step. All right, 1, 2, and 3. Look this way. Again. Congratulations, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Parks and Recreation, our director, Cassie, Anthony, and the entire Parks and Recreation team. That was an awesome effort. Thank you for recognizing our students during Black History Month, and what an awesome, awesome job they have done and making us all proud to be here in the city of Dania Beach. So thank you all once again. Next, we will move on. I guess we'll move on to item 3.3, but I think I'm going to start this right now for 11.1 because I believe that's going to be continued. So I'm going to bring up, if you're here for item 11.1, please raise your hand. Okay. So we have to read this as a part of the public record.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me get there as well. I'm going out of order because there's been a change to this item, so I want to bring it up first and go out of order. We're going to have to do this a couple times.
Would you like me to read the item?
Yes, Eve, if you could please read item 11.1.
An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving the request made by 2700 Griffin Holdings LLLP, a Florida LLP, for properties generally located at 4880 Southwest 28th Avenue and 4901 Southwest 27th Terrace to rezone the properties from two-family residential and single-family 6,000 residential to planned residential development district under the application, subject to certain restrictions, and amending the city's zoning map to reflect the rezoning of the parcel, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date. This is a community development item. We have received a request from the applicant to continue this item to March 10th, a date certain, 7 o'clock commission meeting, so that more outreach could be made to the community.
However, this is a public hearing, and if you have come to speak on this item, then I'm going to still allow you to speak at this time. So first, we have Chandy Christie. Would you please come up and state your name and address for the record?
And it's 3 minutes for everyone. Mayor?
Chandy? opportunity? No? All right, we will move on to Kevin Finger. Kevin? Are you here, Kevin? Come on up, please. And state your name and address for the record. It's still a public hearing. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, I'm not worried about my 3 minutes. Since we got this surprise that the item has been tabled to the next meeting, we would like to present then. All right, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Kevin Finger, just like on your hand, 5117 Southwest 28th Avenue.
Thank you.
20 plus years. Thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer Stewart, until the 10th, until March 10th. Okay. So then anybody else want to speak for or against this item? You want to come up? You're going to wait till the 10th. So I think everybody who wanted to speak on this item will come back on March 10th. Oh, Mr. DeRosa, come on and state your name and address for the record, please.
Sean DeRosa. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am here in support of the residents who live in this neighborhood and who are speaking tonight or have been postponed tonight about application RZ-034-24. This request would rezone these properties from residential zoning to planned residential development. The neighbors who live there chose this area because of its existing residential character. Changing the zoning changes the neighborhood. The people who live there are concerned about increased density, traffic, parking, noise, and the overall impact on their quality of life. These are real concerns from real families who call this neighborhood home. Once zoning is changed, it cannot be easily undone. It sets a wrong precedent. It opens the door for more changes in the future. The residents deserve stability and protection, not uncertainty. This neighborhood has an established character. It should be preserved, respected, and protected. I respectfully ask you to stand with the residents, protect this neighborhood, and deny this rezoning request. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Is there anyone else who wants to speak or on item 11.1? All right, so then we will close oh, come on up, sir. Would you please come up and state your name and address for the record, please? Does anybody help him with the microphone?
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners. Good evening, Commissioners. My name's Campion. Ed Campion. Good evening, Commissioners. I live at 420 Southeast 5th Street, Dania. I've been living there over 36 years. And since about the last 15 years, I'm sorry to say that the city has been less livable than when I moved in. Multiple developments, and then I hear that they're thinking of letting chickens in. Well, there's a city that was specifically formed for people that want to live in and with their animals. That was formed about 40 years ago by Mecca Fink. Much of her own money was put in that. That city is Southwest Ranches. You're more than welcome. If you want chickens, go out there. She'll let you have as many as you want. You can have horses, anything else. And they have a lot of 4 and 5 acre tracts. And it's a little expensive, maybe for raising chickens, but you know, we moved to the city of Dania, and my wife is a lifelong resident of Broward County, 79 years, born in Broward General when it was 5 rooms. Look at it now. And overall, Broward County's done an excellent job in providing for roads. They made 84 in the 595, and that's good. But as far as having animals living with human beings, I don't see it. That's a third world country deal. And if anybody that passes that is not for a good living. Thank you. It brings in rodents and everything else.
Thank you, Mr. Campion. That was item 12.1, but we're just going to let Mr. Campion go ahead with that. But we are going to return to our regular program right now. And then if I can just see a show of hands of how many people are here for 12.1 for the chicken issue item. Okay, so I will come back to that one. I'm going to do a little back and forth, but I do want to get to the presentations that we have as far as the next one is concerned.
Let's just have close the public hearing and a vote
Okay,
to continue.
okay. So that we close the public hearing for 11.1, and I just need to have a motion to continue. Commissioner Ryan.
And it would be to March 10th meeting.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Attorney. I'd like to make a motion to continue item 11.1 to the March 10th meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Do you have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Llewellyn, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, item 11.1 will be continued until March the 10th. So now we will go back to the presentations, which is, we just have one more presentation. But I mean, that's 3.3. Yeah, 3.3 we'll go ahead and do. Presentation of the PJ Millie Park conceptual design. So that will be next.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. This is an exciting next step in our Parks Master Plan project. As we know, we just cut the ribbon on the $23 million C.W. Thomas project this February 12th, which is thriving right now with all the new exciting participants. I have with me today Kirk and his team from Barmello Ahamil. They will be doing a presentation showing you the conceptual designs and conceptual renderings of the building, the park, so that we can take the next steps forward and actually moving forward with the architectural and engineered drawings. Barmello Ahamil is actually the architect and design firm that did the C.W. Thomas Park. They've been great partners for us throughout that project. They are always there whenever we need them. So it's exciting for us to continue to have this great relationship with them moving forward on this PJ Millie project. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Kirk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie. Again, Kirk Only, landscape architect with Barmello Ahamil. Mayor, Commission, Manager, City Attorney, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm joined by Rolando Mendoza, who's a design director for architecture, who's going to talk about architecture. I'm going to talk about the site improvements first, and then hopefully some inspiring imagery of the vision for the project. So the master plan, I'm going to walk you around the park for the proposed improvements and talk about the different components. There's two vehicular entrances, one on the north end and one in the southeast corner, with ample parking that wraps around the project. This is the wrong presentation. The next component is the community center with swimming lap pools with the recreation component along with the equipment building. Then there's a multi-purpose field green space for pickup games and activities such as that. Then there is a playground with 2 age groups shaded with a picnic pavilion. Courts, pickleball and tennis. Then there's a dog park. In the middle is the basketball court. Above that is some parking, a freestanding restroom, along with exercise equipment. And then with that, I think the ball field in the middle is the last component. And then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Rolando, who is going to walk through the architecture.
Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioner, everyone. So it's a great pleasure to be here and walk you guys through the concept for the community center. I'm going to start back here with the site plan because there's three things that we really focused on when we were thinking about the project. The first one is the location. And what's interesting about this, the community center, it's tucked away in the southwest corner of the site, which gives it a sort of special location. And so we thought that that was an opportunity to do something really unique in terms of the placemaking. The second thing that we thought was really interesting was, working with Cassie and her team and a lot of the lessons learned on C.W. Thomas, how do we optimize the program and the functionality of the space? And what we played around with was the idea of this village, taking the program and rather than making one big sort of institutional building, we started thinking about, wouldn't it be interesting if we can start to organize the program sort of in a village-like aspect? And so what we created was a series of spaces that are surrounded by a courtyard. This gives us an opportunity to really maximize the relationship between the inside and the outside, create a really special place in the middle of the building so that the community can actually convene in a courtyard environment. And then unburden the program spaces, the spaces that are air conditioned, so that they're not carrying all the weight of the services, so that we can give a lot of relief programmatically to the building by activating that space. And then the third element was the height restriction that we had on the building. It's 17 feet, so there's not a lot of space to go vertically. And so the concept there was really to think about the building as a shelter, right? So that the roof would then provide this sense of placemaking and shelter to the community. And so the program is really not that big. It's an 8,692 square foot building, but it addresses all the needs of the community and all the needs of the park and its operations. As we go around, one of the nice things is the entry point. The lobby becomes this sort of, entry to the space. We wanted to celebrate that and also make it a space that percolates, the community as it comes in. On the top is most of the administrative functions. And then at the bottom, we offer a dance studio and a multi-flex space. So as parents, you can drop off your kids right there. Very easy to leave them there in front of the administrative offices and be able to pick them up. From there, we can then, go into the recreation offices, the conference rooms, after-school activities, the dance studios. And then you can go into that courtyard, right? And so now the community, their first experience into the building isn't going into a room, but rather experiencing the outside. It's open air. It's going to allow a lot of natural light. And then it'll enable all these spaces around the courtyard to be activated through visual clues and through access to that exterior. And then the restrooms are servicing the area that's closest to the pool, along with the concessions. So the concept here was really simple. It was trying to create this courtyard idea with a village sort of concept that I think elevated the sense of community. And what we start to see is the building, as it presents itself to the community, we offer a very nice canopy entry area, very simple architecture. That roof line sort of becomes that shelter. And then the architecture reflects that in its materiality, the signage, the approach. Then obviously, introducing landscaping. Here's a view as you approach it from the parking. And then the view to the swimming pool and the community center is what you're going to see back towards the space. And you can see the activation of that space, right? It draws you into the community center. It becomes a connection between the inside and the outside. The materiality that we're exploring here is rather than having this sort of blank wall, give that material some texture. So we're thinking, some kind of board form, concrete or, precast panel system, but to give the material some life, not just flat. The ceilings could be simulating wood. That wouldn't be actual wood, but there's a lot of metal type of ceilings that we could use that can be easily maintained or durable, but also give you that warmth tone that we're trying to capture throughout the space. This would be the entry into the center lobby. So as you can see, the idea of coming together into that space and then distributing out to each of the functions of the community center. Here's a view of that courtyard looking back towards the lobby, the dance studio, the gym. So visual connections throughout, lots of natural light looking towards the outside as you're, exercising, being part of the functions, and then connecting the inside and the outside. More images of that courtyard. The courtyard really becomes a really important element because it really connects the community to the spaces. And then we're, putting the bathroom element in the park to sort of be similar to the architecture of the community center itself. Floating roof, clear air space above, using color to differentiate, and signage. Thank you very much. We had a video, but I don't think we sorry about that. We'll have to come back.
Okay.
Any questions?
I do. I love the concept. You guys have already proven yourselves in what quality work you do with C.W. Thomas Park. So I'm not at all worried about the quality and the design. But you talked about the materiality and having some texture, and and I think that's a good idea instead of just having it flat, But I'm wondering, is there any, thought regarding color? Just only because C.W. Thomas, those colors, they're not necessarily overly bright, but they do just draw your eye in a little bit more than you would think of just like a cement with texture. So I didn't know if you had any ideas about that, and if you could speak to that a little bit. And then PJ Millie is famous for its pool. I know that many people go there because it's a heated pool. They love it. It's Olympic size, and I just want to make sure, I don't know if it's Olympic size, but it's a pool that people do the labs and the training, and I just wanted to make sure that they would still have that same quality experience.
Yes, and in terms of the materiality of the building and the textures, I mean, we're open. I think there were some images that we showed in the courtyard where we're introducing some color, but it's been a debate that we've been having. Rafael and I, he's my lead designer on this project. He's not
some color,
he doesn't like colors, but we're gonna get him to like some color, right, Rafael?
All in black.
He wears black. He's a traditional architect.
Okay, and so we have options for that, is what you're saying, and this is just an original concept design going, and we're just talking about it, and the pool is going to have that. So, all right, I will reach out to my commissioners, Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Gentlemen, thank you for the presentation. I do have a couple of questions. If you can pull up the site map again.
Sure. Wait, we're changing. Cassie's changing.
They're trying to get the video, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, let's play the video.
Just gotta push the button.
And this just gives you a sense of what the building is gonna look like in the day of, right, active with people.
I love the wood. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
See the colors on the openings there and on the window frames. So we're starting to introduce some colors.
It's much different in the video. You see it. Can't see knows what I know. I'm a visual person. I gotta see it.
If you cursor back, you can get to the site plan. Just give me a second. And please keep clicking. Here you go.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So tell me where Southwest 28th Terrace is on this map.
You were going to ask me the street names.
Okay, tell me where the current entrance is off of Griffin to the park, where then you have to go to 52nd Street.
Lower right-hand corner is where that white box is.
Go to the microphone.
Sorry. So it's in the right-hand corner. It's where that corner of that white box is.
That's being blocked, you mean?
Sorry, what is it?
So the entrance is being blocked. That is an entrance there, the white.
No, you can see the entrance. The road is
Where it
blocked.
says
but
exit or
the entrance.
Okay.
Yes.
But then I also see it going out to, I believe, if I'm correct, it's Southwest 29th Ave.
Yes, at the north end.
Okay. I have a bit of an issue with that, and this has been a contentious issue with the people living out there to create more traffic on what's currently a U-shaped type scenario. And we're going to get a lot of resistance from that. It's adding more traffic to an area that's very quiet, that only has an entrance and exit to people that live there, nothing else. And we're going to have to do a tremendous amount of community outreach to determine whether that's going to be a viable solution for this park. I personally don't like it. I don't like adding an element of traffic where it's been calm for all these years. And I love the idea of maybe making it a walking entrance rather than a driving entrance. But I'm really concerned, and I think we need to kind of look at that very strongly and have a lot of outreach with those people that live in that area, because I've already heard it, and it's not good. The other parts of the park are beautiful, and I think something that everyone's going to be very proud of. But it's going to create an element of a problem there with that entrance. The other question I had is about parking. Do we know the number of spaces that we are currently looking at here? Because it doesn't look like a lot.
I was looking at the drawings this morning, and all I can tell you, it is double what's required by code based upon the use.
Okay. And then one other question about going back to entrance and exits. Right now, there really is not a good, viable walking entrance to that park at all. It's all road. Is there anything we can do to make it more of a walkable entrance where people are feeling safe walking from their houses to a park?
That's something that we are definitely exploring. It was easier to accomplish that on the north end of the park, and I totally understand what you said about the neighbors.
Yeah.
We've talked about that and had discussions about it. It's ongoing. The other entrance is somewhat problematic because there's really nothing to connect to. It is, like you said, mostly road. But we can definitely look at that again and see if there's something that we
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if that was part of your preview or your scope of work when you designed this, but maybe it's something that, we can talk about as a city on how we can maybe incorporate some walking paths along 52nd as you walk into that park, because it's not safe. It's very dangerous, especially at night. It's horrible. So I think if we're going to invest this kind of money into this park, which is beautiful, we ought to look beyond just the park and how people access it.
If I may, through the mayor.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Putting
Thank
on
you,
my
guys.
Parks and Recreation
Yes, ma'am.
hat, having worked with Bermello back in my days in the Village of Parks in the village of Palmetto Bay, and with them in South Miami. PJ Millie's a gem. It's like a diamond in the rough. This park was poorly designed. My apologies to whoever designed it. It's very closed in. Is not very inviting. You see the difference in C.W. Thomas. You're invited to enter and pull in, walking, driving, bringing in your bicycles from all areas, north, east, south, west. Here, no. Here is almost like a mission to get into this park. So oftentimes people move close to a park. They don't want lights. They don't want to hear the ball hitting the bat. They don't want to hear kids and noises, but it's all part of what parks brings. And oftentimes people conceive there's going to be cars and but at the end of the day, we couldn't be in better hands with these group of individuals and the firm of Bermello Ajamil. And like the mayor has stated, and you have stated, we'll go back, we'll incorporate additional elements of color, but rest assured that by the time that we bring the final conceptual plan for this park, it's going to be something that's going to be truly spectacular. We're not going to recreate C.W. Thomas because every park needs to have its personality. You know, this park is almost as an extension of people's backyards. So it's going to have its own personality. Oftentimes, we're not going to duplicate services. There are people that come here just for swimming. There are people that are going to go to CW for football. So based on everything that we're hearing and based, on our working group with our Parks and Recreation Department led by Cassie, we're going to fine tune it. But absolutely having those community meetings and hearing the concerns, validating their concerns, and finding the answer to get to yes.
I hope so, because again, you didn't really address the 52nd Avenue, was it 52nd Street entrance, about what the city can do to make it a walkable entrance to the park. If I live over there and I plan to take my bike or a walk, I want to be able to feel safe doing that, especially if I'm with children. And right now, it's not that way. And yes, it wasn't designed. It was designed poorly. But that was also a long time ago when there was less people living there. Now we have a tremendous amount of people living in Dania Beach, and we're spending a lot of money on this park, like we are in all of our parks, to improve the quality of life for everybody. And I don't want to be short-sighted and just think about the park only. We should be thinking about how we get to that park.
Commissioner, rest assured, short-sightedness is not what we do.
Well, I know that, but I don't want to just say I'm worried about the colors or I'm worried about, we need to also look at what's happening before we get to that park.
Well, let me add to how we bring the vision to the city and how we've been bringing the vision to the city for the past 7 years. In addition to this park design and this park project, we are also working on a storm drainage project, parallel. So when we work on the storm drainage and we augment and enhance the streets and the walkability and the sidewalks, that's also going to be part of this project. So in addition to this project, we are going to be addressing the storm drainage issues that we have on 28th Terrace coming off of Griffin, and a multitude of other areas up in that area, including on 34th, which just got $1 million from the federal government. So rest assured, in regards to the experience and the knowledge and the partnership that we have with Bermello and the team, short-sightedness will never be part of anything that we do here in the city. Thank you.
Okay, and I apologize if I made it sound as if you are short-sighted. You're not. We are the most forward-thinking city, and everyone here does a tremendous job at putting forth a lot of great ideas. But what I want to make absolutely sure, and I want some assurances from somebody, is that we're going to take a look at the entrance to the park, and we're going to improve that entrance somehow, some way. that makes that park that much more special. And I think we need to take a very quick and very concerned look at the north entrance and whether that should actually happen or not. So you all kind of understand what I mean, and it's just not me. I'm sure everyone else is going to chime in here a bit, but I've talked to many of those people over in that area, and there's a big concern there about it having a north entrance. And I've also talked to people about the safety issue, actually just trying to even walk into that facility. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli, for your comments. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. The city manager just addressed one of my questions was in the concept, the drainage system, because I know that over that area that there's been at least 2 foot of water, and that drainage system would be in this concept as well. I didn't know whether they did that or whether it was done by somebody else. To address Commissioner Romoli's situation, can you leave that screen up, please? I've been around that park a lot, and my sister lives across the street from it, so that tells you that I've been there. And it's surrounding, and I understand his concerns with that, and any suggestion you would have, I'm sure that they would take into consideration. But there is no other walkways, there is no other roads going to that park. 28 Terrace is the only road going to that now, and even though that going back years ago when there was 2 baseball fields there, or maybe 3, I can't remember, there was a large volume of children going there and playing, and those roads at certain times would get busy, and it was just the only way in and out. Looking at the other side of the park where it's coming out, anytime, and just bring it up like with the city manager had said about parks, I've been to many, many parks over the last 20 years because my grandkids travel and play ball, and you're going to run into situations like that in certain neighborhoods where there is only 1 way in or 2 ways in, and you have to make that work. It's not a constant 24-hour traffic flow, and there's children around, and signage would be out there. Caution flags would be around, so on, for people that want to walk or bring in. The one thing you did bring up that I thought was interesting was the parking, because if we ever do have anything bigger there, we would probably run short of parking as we do at other places, and you would have people parking on the streets and stuff, and that would be the other thing. But I don't see with one field, I don't know if that's going to have a problem. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, Commissioner Rowland, but I don't see any other, everything is in somebody's backyard, and I don't see another way in or out besides those 2 that they have there. I'm just making a point of what I see, not saying that you're wrong or right, but I mean, if you can come up with a better idea, I know that this is not in my pay scale to judge it, but I'm looking at it, and I only see what you see here, but I'm looking at all sides, and everything's everybody's backyard against the mobile homes around the side, and unless I don't have any other idea where you could come in at, but I'm open to listening to that if you have a suggestion, but I don't want to deter or upset anybody up here for that reason, but I like the concept of the 2 different places and so on, and I just like it the way it is, but I mean, if you can find a better way, I'm all ears.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Llewellyn.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things just to comment on. As far as the color scheme, I actually think, and I live out west, so I understand every neighborhood is different. And in this particular neighborhood, there's a lot of lush greenery. There is a lot of vegetation. I kind of like the green with the brown. And keeping it more natural looking. I don't know that color is necessarily something that's really needed. Obviously, we have our logo that's very colorful, and I'm sure that will be placed everywhere. And nothing wrong with that. We can always do art sculptures, can't we? That's something else that we can add as well. But it's a different neighborhood. So I think I liked it personally. I thought it was a good thing. I agree with the issues that deal with the second entrance, in that I know that the neighborhood is going to be very vocal about it and very concerned about it. And part of that is not even so much about, it's mostly about the traffic, honestly, because this is a road that I think kind of comes around in a U, if I'm not mistaken. And they really don't get traffic back there at all. So you're going to go from no traffic to traffic. And that entire neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken, also does not have any sidewalks. which is also an issue. Sidewalks, bike lanes, anything like that. The road that leads currently into PJ Mealy does have some speed humps on the road, but the bulk of right? There's no sidewalks there either. So, I mean, so I appreciate the rather than having cars coming in there, having walking or bicycles, but if it ends up, and I understand the reason why you want to have the two entrances also. I think we need to look at some other things to do in the community itself that would help facilitate this better. And maybe that means sidewalks. Maybe that means doing something, just in the neighborhood that makes it a little bit safer for people to come and go. That's just my thoughts on that. The last thing I wanted to ask you about, which is something different, has to do with the courtyard. I like the idea of the green space. I like the idea of the open air. My concern is, this is South Florida, and in the summertime, we have a lot of rain. How does that work with the courtyard?
Lots of discussion on that.
Yeah, because that's going to be a problem. And I don't want it to end up being wasted space for an entire season. Or even half the year. If we have rainy season and you have areas out there for people to sit and they can't sit there because it's pouring rain inside, what happens when it rains?
Well, if you notice the dashed line on the plan there.
You did be at the microphone.
Sorry. The dashed line on the plan, you see that? That's the actual opening. So you have ample coverage from that line to the building. So you're going to be under cover most of that space. And then the courtyard is actually between those two dashed lines. So if it rains, you can scooch in a little into
Sure, but come on, you've been through a rainstorm down here. I'm just trying to be realistic about it.
No, fair enough. The intent is to navigate to all the doors and the access to all the different rooms without having to walk in that torrential rain. That's the goal that's the goal. And so we're still playing with the forms of the landscape spaces so that we can balance that. So it's a work in progress.
This is a smaller building compared to others. I don't want to waste space. That's all. And I'm concerned that there could be potential for wasted space if it's something that can only be used for part of the year because of the weather issues.
So let me just jump in real quick. Just looking at other designs in other cities, even at CW's, there are open outdoor areas.
Yeah.
We do get rain, but we're not Seattle. And we'll get rain, and 2 hours later, the sun is out and it's beautiful. And there is also heat. So this is not designed or intended for people to hang out there for 3 hours. Because even if it doesn't rain, people get hot here. It's just to create a sense of space, but then that central area leads to all these different rooms, be it the gym or the dance studio. So it's an element that's not going to be wasted, and there's enough coverage for people to enjoy when we have beautiful weather like we're in a drought right now. It hasn't rained in forever. We need some rain. But the design includes people to get out there, get some vitamin D, but also be able to go into the different areas.
And I understand that, but I'm looking at it as, at CW Thomas, those open areas are not in the middle of the building. This is in the middle of where everything is going on. So that's my reason for asking. If it was off to the side, that'd be a different story. They have the pool, and you have, at CW Thomas, you have the area for people to sit. You have the little cafe area or whatever. That's a different setup. And I'm not, again, they don't all have to look alike. And I like the idea of having the open air. I just want to make sure that, especially because this is a smaller building, smaller space, I want to make sure that we're using it all year round and using it for the purposes that it needs to be. And air conditioning is a point, yes, and people do like air conditioning. We do have a really nice seniors group that meets there as well, and they are definitely going to want their air conditioning. So, I just a couple things. We'll take a look at it, and I know you're still playing with it, so just some things to keep in mind that I think are going to become questions. So, thank you. But otherwise, I like the design.
No. Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, a few comments and a few questions. First of all, thanks for the presentation. I like the concept. I definitely like the open concept with the community center. That's definitely thinking outside of the box and making it a lot more modern. While, courtyards, there's nothing modern about courtyards. But I just want to make a point that, enhancing this park is enhancing the entire neighborhood. It's making the entire surrounding neighborhood look a lot better, and it's helping them with a critical issue when it comes to flooding. So let's just be clear here. This is good for the neighborhood. It's enhancing the neighborhood. When it comes to the traffic, we are increasing the amount of parking, and I do understand the concerns about the additional entrance. I would like to hear more feedback from the community regarding that, just to understand. But like I said, when you purchase a property next to a park, you should kind of support that park. And if it's better for the community, I think it would be better for everyone overall. I have a question about the baseball field. Like we said, each park has its own specific use, and PJ Milley is more of an adult park, I would say. It's more geared towards adults that go there. They have adult leagues. That's why we have one baseball field, because we have adult kickball, adult softball. How big is the baseball field compared to the one that's there right now? Do you guys have any idea?
It's similar, but I think it's a little smaller.
A little smaller? Do you know what it is from home plate to center field or anything like that? Or no?
I think maybe.
How far?
300.
300 feet? All right, so that's small. You can for an adult field. Well, for an adult field, yeah, kind of. Yeah, for softball, it's good. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's good enough. It's definitely an adult size field. Well, 300 feet to right field at Mullins Park was like a little shot in the gap. That's pros though. I'm just talking about it.
You could brag about all the home runs.
Yeah, but I just wanted to, specify that this is definitely more of an adult park. That's why there's one baseball field there, because it's mainly going to be for an adult use. It's not like we're going to start some youth baseball program over there with one baseball field. What else was I getting to? Oh, yes. Okay, this is important. All right, so this is more of a finance question, because this is the next park slated, to be redone, one of our major parks in our city to be redone. And we had $55 million initially earmarked for our total funds for our parks, right? And what we just spent invested $23 million in C.W. Thomas Park. Do we have any idea what the price tag on this park will be?
Cassie, do you have those numbers? Right now, outside of the design, we've been thinking outside the box a little bit, and some things that we're working on with our city attorney in regards to naming rights that are the naming rights that bring in the dollars that we need to have the so-and-so aquatic center at PJ Milley, the so-and-so, community center at PJ Milley. Because we have to think outside the box, particularly when we see what's coming from Tallahassee with property taxes. So something's got to give. But do you have the numbers for the construction?
So the very, very rough estimate off of the conceptual design, and that's why this is important for us to move to the next step, because once they get to the nitty gritty of the engineered drawings, we can get a much more hard cost estimate from Burkhart. Burkhart is the construction manager at risk, also onboarded for this project, which was involved in CW, is around $30 million, but they're basing it off of that drawing. They don't have any of the nitty gritty of the decisions of what furniture we're picking, the type of facade. It's very, very
okay.
Top end looking at a picture like this.
And that includes the drainage, like the infrastructure as well?
That includes the infrastructure in the park.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Now what's interesting also is this is something that we also would have a secondary game plan of phasing it in. So we would take this and say this is phase one based on the use that it gets now, and then have phase one, phase two, and phase three.
Okay.
As the money comes in, we can move into this part of construction.
So, yeah, I just wanted to make that point.
Correct.
And, we got to talk dollars here, all right? And 55 million, 23 plus 30 equals 53. We have two other parks. We have a brand new park in Olson that we're trying to build too, which I think is earmarked for like $7 million, not as expensive as this one. But that's what I want to make clear to the commission here, all right? Each one of these nice little buildings you see, or field, or, basketball court or pool, it has a price tag on it. So, we don't want to spend everything and just leave all the other parks out to dry, right?
Well, no, we would never do that. And
I know, I
no
understand.
park has been left out to dry.
I
We have
understand.
invested
I
in every
understand.
single park.
I understand. I'm just saying, it's just something that I want to put in everybody's mind, so we can definitely consider it when looking at the conceptual drawing. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Well, healthy discussion here, Commission. Any other comments or questions for our Bermeo, Ahmel, Cassie, before we move forward with this? I think, go ahead, Kurt.
I would just say thank you very much for the feedback and the comments. We appreciate and value those like you have no idea. So thank you very much.
Yes, I value it as well. Thank you so much for coming and presenting that concept, bringing it to life. And we have a lot to think about, but that was just the initial concept. So thank you, Commission, for your input and feedback on that. I'm going to move on then. I'm going to get this one out of the way because they have children at home. I'm going to go to 13.1, and I think this will be quick. We've done this before in the past. I think the only person who wasn't here was Commissioner Ramoli. We had the REACH program to come and do a mock commission meeting, and they were able to basically learn how government is in real time. So I know the commission is very familiar with this project, and so we have Ms. Kelly Sharabi, and who's going to tell us a little bit about her concept for bringing the mock commission meeting back to the city of Dania Beach. Ms. Sharabi.
Thank you so
Mrs.
much,
Sharabi.
Mayor. Thank you. Thank you, city commissioners. So nice to see everyone. It's been a little while. Basically, we would like to do a repeat of what we did about 3 years ago with the city commission. To bring the students in, we give them a project to focus on, and they present it as if it's something that they would like to build within the city. The last project that we focused on was the park that's next to Olson Middle School. So we wanted to do a repeat with that, not with that park, but with the park that we just discussed. And it's fun to hear from kids and their ideas. I'm sure you guys know very well. So I'm just here to answer any questions about being able to do this again with you guys moving forward.
No questions, or if we can move this along, then I just wanted to be able to get it in, and I know you guys are very supportive of the program. So do I have consensus from the commission to move forward with March 31st? You'll get with Maxine for the time, and this is 13.1 is approved unanimously.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Okay, now I'm moving to the almighty 12.1. Eve, if you could please read item 12.1.
Yes, Mayor. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach amending Chapter 28 entitled Land Development Code Part 1 Use Regulations and Article 105 Use Regulations for Residential and Open Space Zoning Districts at Section 10520 to amend the use schedule to include fowl within certain district regulations and creating Section 105-270 entitled Fowl to create maintenance and enforcement regulations relating to housing of fowl and amending Part 7 Code Administration Article 725 definitions at Section 7530, terms defined to provide definitions relating to fowl, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date. This is a Community Development and Commissioner Ryan item.
Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Deputy Director of Community Development. This is an item that was sponsored by Commissioner Ryan, so I don't know if you want to start the conversation or introduce it? Okay. So I do have a presentation prepared. I went through the presentation at first reading, but I do have one slide that speaks to the changes since first reading. So after hearing the conversation that was had at first reading, we did amend the ordinance to go from a one-year pilot program down to 6 months, because that seemed to be a point of concern. We've also required or provided clarity that coops would be a requirement and that coops and runs would not be permitted in the front yard. So they do have to follow the setbacks that are identified in the land development regulations or in the proposed ordinance in front of you. And I can continue with the presentation if you'd like to hear it again. Do you guys need to hear it again? Anybody? Okay. The public might, I mean, you can kind of summarize and go through, so for the benefit of everyone who's come out to see it. I'd be happy to. So the request is to expand where fowl is currently allowed in the city. The city of Dania Beach currently allows keeping and raising of chickens as a permitted use in the state zoning district, which requires 1 acre parcels of land, so they're the larger properties. There are limitations, no more than 25 birds or fowl, and it does require enclosures to be 50 feet from property lines, but again, those are 1 acre parcels of land. This proposed amendment will allow keeping of fowl an accessory use to a single family property. Based on staff analysis, we did look at how other municipalities in the county regulated this type of use. We found 4 municipalities allowed it as a conditional use, and those conditions seem to vary by city. 4 municipalities did require 50-foot setback. 9 required agricultural zoning, and 13 municipalities did not allow it. The amendment was proposed to the Planning and Zoning Board in January to keeping fowls as, in single-family zoning districts as a special exception use. At that time, it also required, at that time when it was drafted, 10,000 square feet of property. Since then, those 2 items have been amended. Now we're proposing it as an accessory use, no special exception, and on properties with 6,000 square feet. Going forward, because that's the size of most of our single-family residential properties. But it is built in with many limitations in terms of no more than 4 hens. Roosters are prohibited. There's no selling of eggs or meat or birds. So there's a lot of restrictions that are built into it. Staff's analysis, the Planning and Zoning Board discussed the item and unanimously recommended the modified improvement of the text amendment, changing the lot size from 10,000 to 6,000 square feet, and that's how it's presented today. Additional research showed that national trends were emerging, which aligned with Dania Beach's strategic plan, as well as the city's mission to operate in environmentally sound manner. Based on these regulations, based on the additional feedback and department research, staff is recommending the proposed amendment to allow the keeping of fowl in single-family zoning districts as a permitted use with minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet, where the conditions are met as identified. And code compliance would be responsible for investigating and addressing any complaints related to noise or odor in accordance with the provisions outlined in the ordinance that is proposed tonight. The text amendments, the City Commission previously heard this on February 10th, where the item was approved on first reading. Planning and Zoning Board heard it on January 21st, where they proposed approval with that modification to allow the 6,000 square foot property. And at this time, staff's recommending approval of the ordinance on second and final reading as proposed. And I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Corinne. This is a public hearing. Yes, I do have several. Do you need to read the, okay. I'm gonna call up Miss Bobby H. Grace. If you would come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Bobby H. Grace, 110 Northwest 8th Avenue in the great city of Dania Beach, Florida. What were you thinking? I cannot believe that I have to address this again. I came here in 1951 where chickens and ducks and land crabs and everything else was running wild in the city of Dania Beach. When I ran for office and won in 1989, we regrouped and did charter changes in ordinance to prohibit this in the city. 25 chickens. The only 25 chickens I want to see are in my freezer. That's it. If this passes, and I cannot believe that you're sitting here and entertaining it, that it is something that you're going to be comfortable with, especially when The majority of our citizens in the city of Dania Beach are seniors with health problems. We just built a new facility. I can see them running all around C.W. Thomas Park right now because you can't contain them. You say that you can, but you can't. You can't even contain the iguanas that we're dealing with right now. Court enforcement should be out there trying to get rid of them. And some of the people in this room have goats in their backyards already. That shouldn't be in the city of Dania Beach. This is a city. This is not a farming area. I came from Georgia where we lived on a farm, so I know what they have there. I'm telling you now, I'm not happy. And if this passes, you can bet your career for the one who sponsored this and put it on here will be passed also.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. This is an action item, so we are going to still respect the rules of decorum here. But I want to make a clarification, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Corinne, on this, but it's not, and I voted against it the first reading, but I don't believe that it's 25 chickens. I believe that it's 4. Not that that makes a difference or not, but I just want to put it on the record so that it's correct. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And I apologize. The confusion is where there's a state zoning. The current regulations on the state zoning allows the 25. Proposed this evening for single family would be no more than 4 hens and no roosters.
Thank you for the clarification. That came up a couple of times in the phone calls and emails that I had, so I just wanted to reiterate that for the public. Not that it changes your mind one way or the other, but just to have the clarification. Thank you, Ms. Grace. Thank you, Corinne. And we will go on next to Cody McCall. Please come and state your name for the record, please.
Cody McCall, 33 Southeast 12th Street. What I ask you is the purpose of our collective investment in this community through our taxes. Is it not to ensure that Dania Beach remains a functional and beautiful urban haven by the sea, a place where infrastructure thrives, neighborhoods flourish, and our shared quality of life is upheld? No community is without flaws, yet our community stands as a testament to thoughtful stewardship. And yet we pay some of the highest property tax rates in recent history. Does this align with neighborhoods potentially littered with chicken feces, transforming our urban backyards into makeshift farms? Consider this ordinance proposing to expand backyard chicken allowances. Studies reveal grim outcomes in other urban communities of similar ordinances. Some property values have decreased 3 to 10% due to nuisances like odors and noise, with realtors noting buyer aversion. At our median home value of $492,000, that's a potential loss of $14,760 to $49,200 per household. Ponder our potential project funding struggles. Funding infrastructure like the $32 million Southeast Drainage Project at 3 to 10% value erosion could soften tax revenues, forcing higher borrowing costs and weakening our future bond ratings as rating agencies weigh these risks conservatively. Moreover, reflect on enforcement challenges. Short-term rentals bring noise and incidents, while rental properties suffer persistent trash piles at curbsides. Code enforcement's administrative process, notifications, hearings, compliant timelines delay relief for neighbors. If strained now, imagine compounding chicken-related issues hard to enforce swiftly. Not all may hear these decreases, but rating agencies do. Safeguarding our future, I urge wise deliberation. Does this serve our investments? Reject it outright. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCall. Ms. Benny Moultrie. Please come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Mayor.
Good evening.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, and City Clerk. My name is Benny Moultrie. I live at 220 Southwest 11th Avenue, Dania Beach, Florida, I'm a little confused about this 4 chickens, because if you get 4, that means they're going to multiply, and there will be more and more and more. I'm very proud to have this opportunity to just state my opinion on this issue. If we have to vote on this, my vote would be no. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moultrie. Mr. Ricky Young, please come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Ricky Young. I reside at 225 Northwest 7th Avenue in the city of Dania Beach. In reference to the hens, would they be pets? Are they considered pets, or would it be for food consumption? Secondly, we have a patch here. With the patch, we got all kind of animals still running around here. Ducks, they wild mallet ducks. You have to stop while they cross the street. They even call it Duck Alley over there. We have not only ducks, we got possums, iguanas, raccoons, and the lichens run around in my neighborhood, in my backyard. So when you want to add chickens and say we're going to have 4, where would they be housed at? And for what reason? And why? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Ms. Laura Metrick, if you could please come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Laura Metrick. I live at 352 Southeast 5th Street. I want to tell you a story about, first of all, I want to say I'm a master gardener, so I learned about critters. I had, first of all, a bird feeder that drew rats. Rats were digging holes under the ground, and so I had to have them exterminated. Then I have an alley between my house and my neighbor's house where raccoons come and go to the bathroom every day. I mean, there are 20 piles of manure every day between my 2 houses. They go to people's front porch, they eat cat food, so I know that they're raccoons because I can see the red cat food in it. So we have rats, snakes, crabs, iguanas, raccoons, possums, feral cats that get on our roofs and scratch our cars. I've had my roof a hole eaten in it twice by a raccoon, and the roof cost $2,500 to fix the first time. It cost $4,000 the second time, and this was all drawn by food that was put out. Snakes get into food. Rats get into food. Chickens eat scratch. They don't just eat waste food, they eat scratch. So as I see it, we're going to have more problems with raccoons, and we're going to have more problems with other animals if we put chickens in backyards. Not to say the least for people don't follow the rules. People walk their dogs with no leash, even though there's a leash law. They walk them on long leashes when there's a 6-foot lead. They have more animals in their house than probably they're allowed to have. So what's to stop people from putting a rooster there, and who's going to go catch it once it's there? When the chickens multiply and there's more than 4, who's going to stop them? I mean, the police have more things to do than to chase down chickens and rats. So my vote is no on the chickens. But thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Metrick. Mr. Robert Kirschberger. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Robert Kirchgraber. I reside at 2725 Treasure Cove Circle in Dania Beach on the west side. This is the 3rd time I've been up here to listen to the chicken discussion. And I have yet to hear one person in the gallery come forward and say this is a great idea. Okay, not one. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know if it's staff. I don't know if it's a commissioner. I know that one of the commissioners, Mr. Ryan, did propose it. I don't know where it's coming from, but I think we need to stop this. We have enough other wildlife concerns in Dania Beach, and they've all been stated, so I'm not going to use my time to discuss that. The misleading statement in the agenda was that this says no financial impact. That is very, very misleading to the public. We're going to have code enforcement issues. We're going to have BSO issues. Code enforcement can't go on someone's property. They can't go in the backyard. Now we're talking warrants. We're talking wasted time. We're talking all kinds of problems. So I don't see how you can actually be forward and say to the public that this is not going to have a financial impact, because it is going to have a financial impact. It's going to increase the rat population. It's going to increase other animals and their activity, and it's going to increase the trapping costs for the city, and it's going to put hardship on the community. And with this, I formally request that the city council turn this down, not just table it. It needs to be turned down. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kirschgraber. Next, we have Daryl Williams. Please come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Daryl Williams, 420 Southwest 1st Street, Dania Beach, Florida. And I'm against the chickens being here too. I'm raised here, and I remember days back when the snakes and the rats and everything was just all over. You couldn't even walk the street or play in your yard. So I'm really against that they're bringing the chickens in.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Gail Jones, if you could come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Gail Wooten Jones, 717 Southwest 8th Street, Dania Beach. I have chickens in my neighborhood. They're walking on our automobiles and my neighbors' automobiles. They're running around in the yard all day. I greet them at the front door some mornings. They're waking up the families at 5 a.m. I thought I was done getting up that early in the morning. I also have a goat behind my house. Chickens are unattended and they are a nuisance. We are asking the city commission to outlaw this activity, and we need intervention. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Ms. Cecile Collins, please come and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Cecile Collins. I reside at 722 Southwest 7th Terrace in Dania Beach, Florida. And I give respect to everyone in their places. I don't know where this came from about allowing chickens in the city limit. I moved to the city because I don't agree with wild animals. As Ms. Jones stated, there are chickens running around in my neighborhood, so is code enforcement, and I haven't seen them remove either one of them. I woke up one morning at 5:30 to listening to chickens. I couldn't believe it. I woke up, I looked out the window, I couldn't see anything. I got ready to go outside of my home, and there was 2 chickens walking down the sidewalk. I don't agree with it. I think the city of Dania Beach is finally coming up to where the city have invested money in every area. The city is looking good. Why would we go back 50 years to allowing chickens and goats and whatever else in our neighborhood? I am a widower. I live alone. I am afraid of snakes. I'm sick of raccoons. I'm sick of iguanas and possums. And I don't see the city doing anything. And when I call code enforcement about anything, I'm told if it's on my property, it's my responsibility. So since I pay taxes, my taxes have doubled this year. and it's my property, I don't want to see it in my neighborhood. My vote is no.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. All right, do we have, those are it for the submitted comments. All right, Mr. DeRosa, come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Sean DeRosa, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am respectfully asking you to vote no on the single-family livestock chicken ordinance. This is not a minor adjustment. This is a permanent change of single-family residential zoning to allow livestock in dense neighborhoods with only a 10-foot setback. That is not a trial. It's a structural legislative policy change, the lowest standards in the county and state. If this were truly a pilot program, it would sunset automatically. It would be capped. It would require individual variances through planning and zoning with mailed notice to surrounding property owners. It would include documented community workshops, resident outreach, and measurable review criteria before expansion. None of that happened. There were no neighborhood workshops. There were no citywide community outreach, no resident surveys, no documented resident demand. Not one resident appeared at the Planning and Zoning Board meeting or commission meeting last time to ask for livestock in single-family residential neighborhoods. Major zoning shifts require substantial demonstrated resident demand. That record does not exist. Now let's talk about enforcement. The city already struggles with vacation rental compliance, noise enforcement compliance, and illegal parking compliance. These are objective, measurable issues, and yet residents routinely experience very long delays or inconsistent enforcement. Livestock compliance will be far more complicated and subjective for enforcing odor, rodent attraction, sanitation, and noise patterns. Enforcement will be complaint-driven, create neighbor conflict, and reactive. If we cannot consistently enforce existing quality of life regulations, why should residents have confidence that agricultural compliance on small 6,000 square foot neighborhood parcels will be handled effectively? Two of you have acknowledged Dania has a long-term rat and rodent problem. Introducing additional animal feed sources into dense residential lots does not reduce that risk, it increases it. Policy should solve known problems, not compound them. This also affects property values. Buyers evaluate adjacent land uses. A chicken coop 10 feet from a property line narrows the buyer pool. That is not emotional, that is real estate market reality. Who bails the homeowner out selling their home at a substantial discount? Who bails the homeowner out paying for additional rat, rodent, mosquito services? Zoning exists to provide predictability and protect reasonable expectations. Homeowners purchased in single-family residential districts with the understanding that agricultural livestock was not a permitted adjacent use. This change is permanent. Once adopted, it will be extremely difficult to reverse.
Mr. DeRosa, let's wrap it up.
Just one more line. I urge you, protect the integrity of single-family residential zoning and vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa. At this time, I'm going to close public comment, seeing no more. Mr. Campion, we got your position from before. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Campion. I'm not going to argue with you.
The reason I came here tonight is I thought it was a joke when I was told that the Commission of Dania in 2026 is considering letting chickens be in the city limits. Totally unbelievable. I've noticed my property values go down, not property values go down, but the quality of life go down for the last 15 years. And the city can't enforce the laws they have now. How do they want more laws to enforce? Let's enforce the ones that we brought up. Over 200 times we've had a noise complaint against my neighbor, and DeRosa's neighbor, and the city has not yet brought these people into compliance. Why can't you bring people into compliance? And how are you going to do it with chickens?
Thank
They
you.
can fly.
Thank you, Mr. Campion. I do appreciate your passion. And now I will close the public comment for item 12.1. Bring it to the commission for discussion or a motion. Does anybody else have discussion on this item? Anybody? Anybody? I will just reiterate, when this is the second reading, I will tell you that I listened to the citizens' comments during the first reading. I do want to say that I appreciate that staff did try to make some concessions and change the time frame from 6 months to a year. However, when you have an overwhelming majority of the public saying what a problem this is going to be for their quality of life, for their health, and they have lived here all their lives, they see Dania Beach moving in a positive forward direction. The investment in our parks, the investment in everything that we have done, the residents want to see this move forward in a positive direction. These chickens and, fowl, people don't want to walk out of their homes in the backyards and have foul feces when they go to their backyards. You have to consider your neighbors, how you're going to impact them, and lessening that from 10,000 to 6,000 square feet. It's just going to exacerbate a problem that already exists that is not under control. So I will reiterate my position that it is the same as the first one. And if we have any other comments, so we need to go ahead and get ready to move this forward. Thank you. Commissioner Llewellyn.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually have a question for our city attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
So currently, I mean, some of the speakers tonight said that they have chickens in their neighborhood. I have chickens in my neighborhood. I actually, this morning when I left my house, a chicken walked right across the road in front of me in my neighborhood. There are no 1 acre lots in my neighborhood. So what is the current status of something like that? How is that not allowed, or is it allowed? And if this ordinance does not pass, what happens?
Chickens or fowl are only allowed in the single-family estate residential 1 acre lots. So from what I understand, there are quite a few people who are already doing it without authorization.
Correct, they are. So in a situation like that, what happens? I'm just trying to understand, if this is left the way that it is, and there is no law allowing 4 hens, and it's only 4 hens, it's not 25, that's incorrect information that's out there. What happens if this law does not pass, this ordinance does not pass, and people continue to have chickens in their neighborhood? Are we supposed to call code? Are they supposed to? Okay.
They're supposed to call code, and then code can cite the properties.
And how do you know which property it is?
We're complaint driven. That's how our city predominantly does its code, is complaint driven. So your neighbors would have to call in for the complaint. They can come to your property. They could ask to go see the property that is the violator, but they can say no, but the next door neighbor can let you in, look over, smell, see, hear, and issue the citation.
Okay, but currently, are we getting complaints? Maybe somebody can.
I would let Eleanor speak to that because she's the head of the department, but I understand there are very few annually.
Because I mean, I can tell you, I'm certain that there are a number of homes currently that have chickens in their backyards. There's a lot, because I see them everywhere.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner. So we did do some research, and we went back the past 10 years, and I'd say we have average a handful of complaints a year regarding chickens. And it's related to roosters crowing, loose chickens in the road, and code will go out and do an investigation and track it down to cite the violator.
So they're already doing that, and it's based upon complaints.
Or if we witness a chicken loose on our,
Like the one I saw this morning,
Yes.
who, honestly, if I had called code, I wouldn't even be able to tell you where to look because it literally crossed the road and went into somebody's bushes. So I have no idea where it came from. I think I know what road it's coming from. It's not from my street, but I'm just trying, and it's generally about roosters, right?
the typical complaints have been the noise from roosters, the loose chickens running the streets, a little bit of smell, but mainly the noise from rooster was the complaint.
Why do we choose 10 feet for the setback? Any idea?
From the property line, because that buffers them. Usually the structures of somebody's home is about 10 or 15 feet from the property line. So this will give another 10 feet.
So it would
Typical
really
for accessory structures.
be more like 20 to 25 feet away.
From another structure, yeah, somebody's home.
Okay. Let me see if I have any other questions on this. I mean, I have received complaints about roosters here and there. I know we used to have a rooster across the canal from us many years ago, and it's not there anymore, as far as I know. We don't hear it anymore. I'm not sure how the enforcement's going to be done. That's one question that I have.
We typically gain compliance. Once we get a complaint, we go out, we do an investigation, we find the source, and it's rectified.
When they are going out currently, are they finding that the chickens are loose, or are they in coops? How are they being kept?
It's mixed. Like, they're very far and few between, but there's a coop typically. If they're loose, they're not allowed to be loose. Obviously, they're not allowed in residential homes right now. So we address it.
Yeah.
Whether they're in a coop or not, it's a
Right.
violation.
Okay, so they do get addressed now, but if you do see them, they are sometimes in coops, sometimes not.
Yes, the complaints. Yes, after the investigation.
Okay. Just for the record, I just want to make a comment because there were a couple things that were said. I just want to make sure so you know something. These are only going to be hens, so there won't be a rooster to fertilize the eggs, so they won't be multiplying. Number one, that's birds. Typically, we've had parrots in the past. Birds tend to lay eggs. Female birds do lay eggs, and they're not fertilized, so they don't end up having more. Just so that you know that. I think that's all I have. I think that's the only questions I have. Thank you.
Really quick while you're up here, Eleanor, so when somebody makes that complaint for code, you just go out and you might cite the property if you can find it, right? You're not catching the chickens and putting them anywhere. People are just getting cited, so the chickens will still continue to roam and do whatever they want to do. But if you can find the property, then you cite the person who owns the chickens if they claim that they own the chickens.
It's not typical for code enforcement to chase down chickens. No.
Okay, only because I saw a video in Pompano where they had a problem catching the chickens.
There's other cities that have, Fort Lauderdale, I think, in the past have had like a
Okay,
chicken
and then
task force that was going around catching chickens.
Okay. My last question is that, I want to make it clear, but when somebody complains to code, they have to, disclose their name and address and all of that. So the fact that we've had few complaints doesn't mean that there are less complaints. It means that some people who just don't want to put their name and address on the record for fear of retaliation from their neighbors, or if somebody is a public record, they can say who called on me and who reported this, and then they can find out who that person is. And I know personally, because people try to do it through me and not complain to code because they don't want to have that retaliation from their neighbors. So that could be a reason why we have very few complaints on file, because people do not want to actually go and make that complaint against their neighbors.
I defer to the city attorney when that was enacted for the non-anonymous.
It was about 3 years ago, the state of Florida said we cannot take anonymous complaints in code anymore.
So prior to that, we were taking anonymous complaints.
Yeah, I can add
our
something to
research
that.
back to 10 years. Just to
I'd like to add
Oh,
something to that.
okay.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Can I just add something to that?
Go
real quick?
ahead.
So I think part of the reason also, and I'll tell you, the roosters that we had across the way from us at one point. A big reason why nobody was calling code on that was because they didn't want to see the roosters euthanized, and they were concerned that animal control would come out and would euthanize them. And that, I think that might be more than, anytime you're dealing with animals, that's definitely a factor as to whether or not people are going to call code, or call the police, or call anybody, because they are concerned about that. That is a thing. And I also just wanted to add one more little thing. So I know that there's been comments about nobody coming here and speaking up in favor of the chickens. I will tell you that I have actually received some calls, people that are in favor of the chickens. So just because people aren't here doesn't necessarily mean that they're not necessarily in favor of it. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Romoli, hold on. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. So in the first reading, as we had many people come up to the dais and say that they were not in favor of it, and someone made the comment tonight, I'm not sure who in the audience, said no one came up in favor of the item. I know I was a no vote the first reading. Again, tonight, no one came up in favor of this item. I received many phone calls, many emails, voicemail messages, people stopping me on the street when I walk my dogs. No one came up to me saying they wanted this to happen. I don't know where this is coming from. I really don't, because honestly, leave it the way it is right now. If there's people with chickens in their backyards, and we don't know about it, then fine, let them have them. But to regulate it and to pass a code to allow it, I just think is ridiculous, and that's just my opinion. If they want to have animals, go get a farm. Go somewhere else and get more acres. But again, I think we just need to move on this. This is taking way too much time, so thank you.
All right, do we have any more comments before or a motion? Commissioner Ryan?
Thanks. I wanted everybody to make their comments. Yeah, this is my item. So I have some notes prepared that I'd like to read to the crowd and to the commission. So as we look at the changing landscape of our beautiful South Florida community, we often talk about sustainability, food security, and the character of our neighborhoods. So as a lifetime resident, a single-family homeowner, and an elected official, I want to address this proposal that is practical and well thought out by myself and by our city staff. This is supported by staff, and it's approved by our Planning and Zoning Board with a 4-to-1 vote. Please note that the Planning and Zoning Board are volunteers, and we definitely appreciate their thought and their time on this ordinance. Right now, the average price of 12 eggs, when I look it up, is like $5.50 to $8, okay? And I think just like how we have ADUs, how we pass the ordinance for accessory dwelling units for single-family homes, I think that increases the value of our property, and I think this will increase the value of our property also. If you look into an example of one thing, I know everyone's familiar with Silicon Valley. They have chicken coops in Silicon Valley, and it's like a status symbol over there, and it's actually increased the value of their property. So some might see this as a step backward, but I see it as a leap forward to our families and our environment. Here's why this makes sense for our city. It turns a residential lot into a mini ecosystem, so to speak. Our natural pest control. We all know the struggle of living in the tropics between palmetto bugs, ticks, and lawn larvae. We spend thousands of dollars on chemical sprays. Small flock of 4 hens is a natural bug patrol. They spend their days scratching through the grass, reducing pest populations without a single drop of pesticide entering our groundwater. Closing the waste loop. In a city our size, landfill waste is a constant challenge. Instead of sending kitchen scraps and vegetable peelings to a dump, our residents can upcycle that waste. These birds turn yesterday's salad into tomorrow's breakfast, providing high-quality protein and a black gold, which is fertilizer that is perfect for our local mango trees and hibiscus for our tropical plants and our gardeners, for our gardeners out there. Rather than viewing them just as livestock, chickens, yes sir, actually are pets. We must stop viewing chickens solely as farm animals. They're intelligent, social, and surprisingly affectionate creatures. For many of our residents, especially our seniors, a small flock provides companionship and a reason to get outdoors into the fresh Florida air every single morning. Chickens have personalities, they recognize their owners, and they become a quiet, joyful part of the backyard landscape. Cultivating responsibility in our youth. Perhaps most importantly, let's talk about our children. In an age of screens and digital distractions, a backyard coop is a living classroom. Daily discipline, a child who has to wake up, water, and feed 4 hens, learns that another living being depends on them. The cycle of life, they learn where the food actually comes from, not from a plastic carton, but from a hard work of a healthy animal. Work ethic, cleaning a coop and gathering eggs builds a sense of pride and a can-do spirit that no video game can replicate. We aren't just raising chickens, we're raising responsible future citizens. And urban resilience is one I want to touch on as well. Finally, as we have seen during hurricane seasons, our supply chains can be fragile. Household that produces 20 to 25 eggs a week is a household that is more resilient and self-sufficient and more prepared. By supporting this measure, we aren't just changing zoning code, we're supporting a healthier, more responsible, and more sustainable way of life for every family in the city. Thank you. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to pass item 12.1.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Vice Mayor, hold on. Vice Mayor.
Okay. You know, I've heard everybody out there, and like the people that are here, and I saw some motions and stuff that if you wanted to express your opinion, you should be here. You know, I've gotten phone calls in favor of it, and I've gotten phone calls not in favor of this. You know, Commissioner Ryan, you brought up a lot of valid points, and a lot of people brought up a lot of valid points. You know, the thing is that if you hadn't have brought this up to begin with, nobody would be complaining about any of this. The chickens would still be running around the way it is today, and as if, you know, like Commissioner Romoli said, just, you know, forget about it. Don't even pass this or do not pass it. It's not going to make a difference. The people are going to have the chickens. The code enforcement's going to do the best they can. Chickens are going to run around. You're not going to know who they belong to. You know, and then the young lady spoke earlier about how many different animals there are out there, or rodents or insects or whatever. And, you know, I don't know how you want to control everything out there. This is a free world, you know, and we should be we should be able to have certain things in our life that are enjoyable to us, and then we start conditioning every resident to have this or have that, or if you don't like it, move to the country. If you don't want this, you don't want this. You know, it's one thing after the other. It's either the traffic's a problem, the parking's a problem. You know, I don't want to go on and on, but I mean, everybody's got issues about what they want and what they don't want, and this society is never going to make anybody happy completely in what you do. You know, bringing this to the dais and having a restriction, whether we pass it or whether we don't, the chickens are going to be out there, just the same as the iguanas that we brought up, just the same as the rats that are out there. You're not going to control the rats. You're not going to control anything out there. They run free, just like the raccoons. My backyard's full of iguanas and raccoons and possums and squirrels. And do you want me to call a squirrel catcher or a possum catcher, or now we're going to get a chicken catcher? I mean, you know, I don't know what everybody's looking for. You know, this is a 6-month trial period. I don't care if it's a 2-week trial period or a 6-year trial period. The chickens and all these other animals are still going to be out there, and you can't do a damn thing about it because nothing's going to change. Nothing. You know, I mean, it's just that you can only control it to a limit. You know, the people that come up and spoke tonight, if you see a chicken in your front yard and the code enforcement comes out and you get blamed for it, how are you going to feel about it? You know, it's not my chicken, it's not my hen, you know, it's not my pet. You know, so I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I don't think it matters either way whether we pass it or whether we don't. You know, anyhow, I'll second your motion, Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Everybody has spoken, and I just want to say that you have to have your pulse on the tone of your residents and make sure that you are hearing them loud and clear. And with that, we will just go ahead and call it to a vote. Elora.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Before I vote, I just want to say, just FYI, we have a whole series of regulations and ordinances related to animals, including pigs, just so you know. And people don't even realize that they're out there. Anyway, regardless of that, I'm going to vote no.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Romoli.
No, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. Commissioner Ryan.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Oh.
I didn't want to stop you.
You can tell it's past 9.
Mayor, your vote?
I've taken over the city clerk's job. It is time for a break. No. So,
Mayor, the motion fails.
the motion fails. Thank you. This is an action item, folks. I am going to ask you to maintain decorum. You can clap outside of the chambers, but we do thank you for coming out and voicing your concerns, and we really appreciate this discussion. I will do the consent agenda last, and then we will take a 10-minute recess and come back. So if we can just get through the consent agenda item. I know, but I just need to get through the consent agenda right now. And then we'll take a break and come back. I just want to get through that.
Does anyone have anything to pull?
We are on, I need to just see where I am now. Right now.
We didn't.
I'm gonna go back. This is a completely different meeting tonight. Moving on to item 8, I'm going to just get this out of the way because I have one thing on this item. So consent agenda, do I have a motion? Or does the commission have any items they wish to pull on the consent agenda? Commissioner Llewellyn?
No.
Or do I have a motion?
I was actually going to make a point of order because of the fact that we literally have multiple things before the consent agenda that still have not been addressed. And I would ask that we finish those because some of those are very simple, quick items. That's all.
Okay. All right, so does anybody have any items they wish to pull from the consent agenda? I do, because then I have item 8.7 that I wanted to bring out before we took a break. Eve, if you could please read item 8.7. Or do I have a motion to pass the consent agenda with the exception of 8.7? No? Oh, Commissioner Romoli.
Yes, motion to pass the consent agenda except for 8.1, is it?
8.7.
8.7, sorry, 8.7.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. Commissioner Llewellyn.
Second.
All in favor say aye. All right, the consent agenda passes except with the exception of item 8.7. And I did pull this because I do think that our commission has very healthy discussions, and I do benefit from hearing all of our opinions, whether we agree or disagree. I know that on item 8.7, we all had one-on-ones with our city administration, with our finance director. These are our community grants. I do feel remiss that we weren't able to have any discussion on them. And while I agree with most of the items that were on here, there was one item that stood out, actually two, which was the mobile school pantry. And I am bringing that out because Collins Elementary was here tonight. Dania Elementary was here this evening, and Olson Middle School, we work with them, and they're going to have the REACH program coming to bring their school here to do the mock commission meeting. The mobile school pantry feeds all of their schools, all of these schools. They bring fresh vegetables, and I do think I see Z back there, the person who does the mobile food pantry. I also looked at the Humane Society. We're giving $5,000 to the Humane Society, which is giving $5,000 to pets and animals, and only $2,500 to to our schools who are desperately in need, and affordability is one of the biggest health issues. So I just wanted her to speak to the mobile food pantry and let us have a discussion on that item. Thank you.
Before anybody does, can I just read the item?
Yes, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach pursuant to Resolution 2520 approving the 2025-2026 funding under the city's community grant policy, providing for conflicts further and effective date. Thank you.
So I just want you to introduce yourself, and I did call because we have had these discussions, and I wanted to see how you came up with the number that you came up with for proposing to the city. So say your full name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Zaina Zane Woland. Most people in the community call me Z, and I'm the proud founder and president of Mobile School Pantry. And I live in the city of Hollywood at 3409 West Park Road, Hollywood, Florida, 33021. Mobile School Pantry has been around for over a decade. In fact, we were established in 2013 with one school and 13 families, and began our mission, and that is to provide fresh fruits, vegetables, and non-perishables to children and families at low-income schools. And we do this very different than your typical food pantry. Mobile School Pantry sets out into school cafeterias where we set up a client choice school pantry where families of each of the schools and surrounding schools can come and benefit from this assistance. There are no pre-packed bags or boxes at mobile school pantries. We believe in giving choice, dignity, and love through the food that we give. And families aren't just getting non-perishables and unhealthy food items. They're actually given healthy, nutritious food. They're able to select from 25 to 30 different fresh fruits and vegetables, including 15 to 20 nutritious pantry staples. So clearly, children can't learn if they're hungry. We can't just give books and pens if their basic needs aren't being met, and food is such a basic need, and in some low-income communities, it's out of access, and that's what we're all about, is giving access to children at a young age so they can create healthy eating habits. It essentially creates better health outcomes for them as they grow and, thrive in life. And without nutritious food, we all know the outcomes are poor. Behavior is poor in school. You can't focus in school. And essentially, you're missing school and you don't perform academically well. So Mobile School Pantry is there to kind of, fill those gaps for families, ease the burdens, and provide stability for families who are experiencing food insecurity. And Collins Elementary, we've been there for 2 years. We're very proud to service Collins Elementary. And last year, we began opening up the program to Dania Elementary and also to Olson. And because Bethune Elementary is so close, we've also invited families from Bethune to also benefit from our main site at Collins Elementary as a main hub of the community for families in the surrounding community, outside of the Dania schools to benefit, which is just really your Bethune Elementary School, where we have 44 families registered from Bethune Elementary, and we're typically seeing 15 to 20 families at Collins who are actually showing up monthly to benefit from our monthly program. So it typically costs us $30 a family on average to give them close to $200 worth of fresh fruits, vegetables, and nutritious food items. So the number we gave you is to feed 333 families over 3 months. That's about 111 families. Our numbers have certainly increased at Collins Elementary since creating this grant. We continue every month to see an increase, whether it be from Collins families, Dania families, Olson families. We're clearly always connecting the dots with the social workers, the school guidance counselors, and trying to clearly ensure that all families have access to our program. So every month we're registering new families, but on average since January and February, we see probably about 15 to 20 Bethune families outside of the 145 families we've been seeing these last 2 months in Collins. And we hope to see more and more families register. And that $30, as I mentioned, covers the cost monthly for each of those families. Roughly, if we took out the Bethune families, it would essentially be close to 96 to 110 families a month at Collins Elementary through Olson, through Dania Elementary and Collins families who are actually benefiting. 175 residents of Dania are registered in Mobile School Pantry, and we do see those families on average 9 to 11 times a month. And we certainly, those dollars that we applied for was to do the 333 families. But if we did take out Bethune Elementary, because they are in the city of Hollywood, we'd be requesting for 96 families to be funded for at Collins, which translates into the $30 per family for 3 months, would come out to $8,640, minus that what we had asked for those additional Bethune families who are benefiting through Collins Elementary. And I'm just really grateful to be able to share our mission. And if you haven't, like Mayor Davis, come out to one of our school pantries, I encourage you to come out. We're at March 24th. We're back at Collins. April, we're back in Collins. We're there monthly. So if this month isn't a good month for you, I encourage you to come visit and witness what Mobile School Pantry is doing in our community here in Collins, and not just here. We are servicing, 7,000 individuals throughout Broward County, through 30 schools in Broward, through 7 main sites, and Collins just happens to be one of our main sites in Broward County.
Thank you, Z. Thank you for breaking that down. And I just wanted the commission to hear, because we took you actually have your numbers down to the exact cent. And so I do appreciate how you've broken that down. And I believe it was 9,900 and something.
90.
And 90, and it was reduced to 2,500. So I am just really asking this commission if we could focus on the Dania schools, Collins Elementary, Dania Elementary, and Olson, and approve those amounts for the mobile school pantry. And that was the reason why I wanted to bring her and pull this item this evening.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. So that is my request, is to have the commission reconsider the 2,500 to the 8,000. Well, without the Bethune Elementary, and for the 8,000 that she would need to service the remainder of Collins Elementary, Dania Elementary, and Olson Middle School. And I'm seeking approval from the commission to do that. You want to speak on it? Does anyone have any comment or questions on that? All right. All right. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. When we went over this, there was another program. Is it Serving with Grace? And they do the same exact thing?
Good evening, Jamie Guzman, Chief Financial Officer. Yes, correct.
Okay.
That was the consensus because of the duplicated services at the same school. That's why they're both each receiving 2,500.
Yeah, I just want to make a point of that. There was two organizations that came to us for the maximum of $10,000 each for the community grants. And one was the Mobile School Pantry, and the other was Serving with Grace. So, like I said, it was kind of duplicating efforts. So I think
Are they is Serving with Grace serving all 3 schools as well? Just Collins, not Olson and Dania Elementary as well. So that's the difference.
Okay, just want to verify that. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. We had to sit down on this, and we all went over it already once, and we broke it down to where the funding was supposed to go and try to be as equal as we could on that. It's not asking for $500 or $1,000. You're asking for almost a $6,000 increase, and I've been up here a long time, and you're opening a can of worms by changing stuff that we've already discussed.
We haven't discussed it. Go ahead.
Never mind. I'm done.
Go ahead. I'm just saying we haven't discussed it as a commission. We discussed it one-on-one. Right. So that was my point, was to be able to discuss it. So I just wanted the people to know that, and that's why I benefit from hearing.
Right. Then we should discuss them all over again, not just one item.
Yeah,
I don't think this is the time to do that at the commission meeting when we're not prepared for it to do that. I mean, I understand her program is wonderful. I understand that, but we were all sat down. We gave our opinions. We brought them out there. If we're going to discuss one, we should discuss them all, and then reconsider if we're going to reconsider. I don't think it's fair to pick one out of the group and then all of a sudden, because you went there and saw that and like it and stuff, and I agree with that, but I don't agree with just throwing another $6,000 out without us going through the whole, then we're going to have to sit back down again and start analyzing all the other people that are going to come up after that and say, well, they got it, now can I have more too?
Well,
And that's what happens, believe me when I tell you.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that, and I think that's why we should have a workshop where we discuss them as a team, as a commission. It's good to have one-on-ones to get our individual opinions out there, but I am all the way for discussing everyone's opinions on all of them. And if you want to just have consensus that we have a workshop at a different time where we can all discuss, or we can find a way that we can discuss all of the, so it doesn't just have one. I'm passionate about that one because I know it personally, and that's true, but it's not necessarily fair to the rest of the organizations, and I agree with you
Well,
on that.
you're making you're doing the ask, and if it's up to the commission to make the decision, I mean, I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm not making their decision. If they approve it, then you could have it. I would not.
No, I agree with you, though, is what I'm saying. I think that's fair. I think that's fair to discuss all of them. So if that's what the consensus would be.
Yeah, let's see the consensus.
Commissioner, is that you done, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Commissioner Llewellyn?
So I think the problem with that is I think there's a timing issue here, isn't there? Don't we have to make a decision on this now? Per policy. So that's.
I mean, this has been closed since when? The community grants. Yeah, come on.
It's been closed since November, but the results per policy are to be released in February.
Okay. But we can make that extension if we wanted to.
It is a city commission policy.
Thank you. So we can make the extension if we wanted to.
My concern.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead, Commissioner Llewellyn.
So again, I mean, we did each have one-on-ones on this. We did each have an opportunity to review everything, to discuss everything, and I believe city staff then came back to us with their recommendations based upon what each of us discussed and based upon the overall, I don't want to say voting because it wasn't voting, but what each individual's opinions were. Look, I don't have a problem with, in this particular instance, giving her a little more money. I'm not crazy about going to $6,000+ more. But the problem is once you start doing this, like the Vice Mayor said, because I've seen it as well, where you start nickel and diming and you start going back and forth publicly, then it becomes a problem where people start coming up and then we no longer have a policy. And we can't necessarily do that. It might be something that I would rather wait. I'd rather approve what we need to approve now, and then we can revisit this for next year and see where we go at that point. And then if we need to make some changes, then we can make some changes. If we need to have a workshop, then we can put that into the policy that we would have a workshop to discuss it. I think it just makes more sense to do that at this point as opposed to changing the whole policy right now before we even had an opportunity to plan to do that. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Any other further discussion on this?
I would also say, some of the other items on here, I mean, we had a very specific set of criteria that we were looking at in order to make these decisions, very specific. So, and I do think that is fair. And when comments like that the Humane Society is just for the animals, it's not about that. It was actually about Dania Beach animals that needed to be spayed and neutered, that were not owned by anybody, that were caught. So
no, the fact was that just,
right.
my point was just that we're giving more money to animals than we are to our community, and that's just a fact. It's not about what it is or how it is, but we're giving more money.
I'm sorry, Mayor, it made it sound frivolous, and it's not frivolous. Okay. So, because we have a major problem with feral cat communities in this city.
Oh, I understand.
And that's the reason. So, in any event, I like I said, you can go with whatever the vote is and whatever the majority goes with, because that's what we're going to do. But the bottom line is I think it would be better to just pass the item as it is at this point, and then we can always revisit down the road.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I made that motion.
Commissioner Romoli.
Mayor, is there any opportunity to do some type of, we'll pass this, but then some type of discretionary funds later on? Can we? Is that an option, or?
I think you can do only one if you can do both. Okay.
You can do both.
You can do both as long as you don't surpass the $10,000 maximum per year.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, Commissioner Ryan.
I second the motion to pass the item as is.
All right, let's just call it to a vote. Laura? Hold on. Commissioner Ryan, did you have your thing or is that, no, hold on. All right, Elora.
Commissioner Llewellyn?
Yes.
Commissioner Romali?
Yes.
Uh-uh.
Yes.
Commissioner Ryan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Salvino?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
No.
Mayor, the motion carries.
Thank you. All right, let us take a break. We will reconvene at 9:30 and move forward. Thank you. We are calling the meeting back to order, please. I'm going to go forward with we're back at the presentations. I have a retroactive approval for item 3.4, request for proclamation for Mount Zion AME Church 117th anniversary that took place on February 22nd, 2026. Can I have consensus from the commission for approval for? Any opposed? All right, we got consensus for the retro approval. Next, we have item 3.5, the MIASF waterway, waiver of parking fees. Do we need a presentation waiver of parking fees? Do I have consensus from the commission to waive the parking fees for item 3.5? Any opposed? All right. Next, we have proclamations, item 4.1, National Government Communicators Day, February 20th.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I'm taking over. I'm going to read a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach. Whereas the role of government communications professionalism is to inform, educate, and engage their communities, and whereas robust communication in government creates trust and inspires residents to take action and be involved, and whereas government communications create relationships and calls to action, build awareness and understanding through storytelling, engage, and foster engagement on civic issues, and use all channels to include people in critical decisions. And whereas it is essential to have strong communications in government because it is a fundamental element of living in democracy where citizens have the freedom to make their voice heard. And whereas the City of Dania Beach is proud and has deep gratitude and recognition for the government communications, professionalism, dedication, hard work, commitment, enthusiasm, and sacrifice. Now, there, on the behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Marco A. Salvino, Sr., Vice Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do by here proclaim February 20th, 2026 as National Government Communications Day in the City of Dania Beach, and encourage all residents to thank the members of the Marketing and Communications Department who have dedicated their careers to ensure the City of Dania Beach has effective, impactful, and successful communication strategies that resonate and are relevant. Thank you.
All right.
Congratulations.
The whole team right there.
Where are they at?
Good.
Good. I'm standing in as.
Get down there with
I'm gonna stand me up. My legs are killing me.
Exactly, right?
You know, you guys come stand over here with me.
Okay, more of a crowd.
All right, here we come.
Come on, Elora. Get over here, Elora. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
How to do it? I do that.
Come on, kids. There we go. All right, here we go.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on. We're going to go to administrative reports. We're going to go to the city manager. Let's hold it down now, the crowd out there.
Yes, I'm going to be brief, and some of these items I'll bring back at the next meeting. But where's our finance team? If we can get our finance team, we just heard today that we got awarded the Triple Crown in finance, and let me tell you, this doesn't happen in every city. I mean, we won for the CAFR, the PAFR, and for our budget. Let me tell you, in these 30, where's Jamie Guzman?
She decided to go for the walk.
She went for a walk with the mayor?
No.
Oh, yeah, they went for a walk.
Oh, no, she probably went to the bathroom.
Yeah, I think she used the
But, you know, so we have here our deputy CFO, who's not just our deputy CFO, she's also a resident and a taxpayer here in our city, and Jamie Guzman, who was promoted last year. And the level of transparency and the level of professionalism that is occurring in our finance department is unprecedented here in the city. I know you all work very closely with Barbara and with Jamie, and I just wanted to just let everybody know that we got great news last week of our budget award, which is 5 consecutive years. Jamie, where's Jamie?
She's coming.
Oh, she's coming. She had to go to the restroom real quick. Jamie, get over here. But this is really remarkable because to win the budget award 5 consecutive years, it took us 115 years, but now we're not going to stop because we've built such an amazing team of professionals. But to get the news today of the Triple Crown, we're like right up there with Secretariat. This is like truly remarkable here in our city. And I just wanted to thank them. Thank you so much. So, you all were there. We had over 300 people celebrate with us last week as we cut the ribbon at CW Park. That's truly a remarkable facility. Seeing all of our elected officials there, to see that vision become a reality was priceless. And already, the level of satisfaction for the kids, the adults, the seniors, it's truly remarkable. We are now also working on the design of not just PJ Milley, but Chester Bird. We're going to continue to hustle in Tallahassee with the federal money. Wherever there's money, we won't leave any stone unturned. So we're very, very excited about that. We look forward to another amazing Dania After Dark event on Saturday, March 14th, commencing at 6 p.m. The VI tickets for the Wine and Seafood Festival are selling quickly. Joanna, Coleman, so many of you that I see so often there. Mr. Robert, you got to come out there and join one of these Dania After Dark. Pastor Ricky, these are truly remarkable events. We had a great dinner at the hall, and we're really looking forward to the Dania Wine and Seafood Festival. Very proud to have been appointed by Superintendent of Broward Schools, Dr. Hepburn, to a very small group of 12 individuals from Broward County. And I love to deal with challenges. Broward County School is dealing with some great challenges today. So to be able to be part of that group, our first meeting is going to happen this Thursday night. To really find answers and to really look at our schools from a different perspective, because our goal will be to ensure that the conversation of closing our schools ends forever, because it has really hurt the registration in our schools, and we're doing some wonderful things, as you saw today, working with all our public schools. Our 3rd annual senior management retreat will take place on Thursday at IT Parker Park. We're constantly digging deeper into how we can become better. There's 2 books that the entire team has read. One is on Tony Dungy, The Soul of a Team. The other one is Patrick Riley, The Winner Within. And it's going to be an ongoing education, because at the end of the day, what we invest in our team comes back to the investment here in our city. I've also been informed by the director of Master's Program for Public Policy and Public Administration at the University of Miami that she has placed me on a board that she is creating. And one of my focuses is going to be casting a wider net on bringing quality, at no cost to the city, a mentoring program and an intern program. And we've done it before with public administration, but I think to be able to cast a wider net in the area of public policy and be able to match some of these interns with our elected officials, particularly that you guys are working on some amazing policies, but to be able to get these master's students paired up with you guys is something that I'm really excited about. As your city manager, I'm always looking for and encouraging our team to think outside the box and seize opportunities that benefit our community. Driving down Sterling, there's this big box adjacent to the tracks, and we have a great relationship with Max Towing. So the other day we're just sitting, Gandhi and I, and Cassie and Eleanor, and we said, hey, why don't we reach out to them to see if that white box that is just sitting there at no cost to us, because we're always looking not to spend when we don't have to see if we could use it for public art. Our country's turning 250 years old. In future, we can use it for other things. But they have called us back and they said, you can use this free of charge, and you can do anything that you want that's public art. So we're really excited about just teaming up with Max Towing and taking that white box and making it beautiful and really be able to think outside the box and do something very creative there. At the March meeting, we will bring you a detailed update on the largest storm drainage project in the history of our city, which is the Southeast Drainage project. And I know we've had close communication with Commissioner Remoli and Commissioner Llewellyn. And we understand that there's a price to pay for progress. And there's been a lot of dust. We haven't had a lot of rain, but we're thinking outside the box to see how we can work with the actual contractors to see if we can bring some mesh so we can water more often. So I'm so grateful that you guys communicate, all the issues that you hear from our residents. But moving forward, we're going to find some more solutions, particularly to some of the construction issues and having the construction companies actually flip the bill. So great things are happening in our city, and we thank you for your support. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, City Manager. I'm going to turn it back over to our mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And now we will have our city attorney. Any comments?
Not tonight, thank you.
Thank you, city attorney. City clerk, reminders.
Thank you, Mayor. So your next meeting is March 10th, starting with CRA at 6 p.m., and then your commission meeting at 7, and then you also have your city commission meeting on March 24th. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, city clerk. And now we will have our public safety reports. Captain Chief Tarala.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Attorney, City Manager, City Clerk. So to start with, we got complaints again over at 221 Southwest 15th Street. We got complaints that came into the city manager, reference traffic and reference pedestrians over there doing illegal activities. So we sent our teams over there, and I'm happy to say that we've written numerous tickets. And on top of that, one of our deputies, while they were doing that enforcement over at 221 Southwest 15th Street, in the alleyway, they observed an individual who was trespassing. They stopped that individual. They found cocaine on that individual, who was also just released from jail for possession of cocaine, who was on probation. So we took him to jail for those charges. And again, we're doing that proactive enforcement over there in that area. Hopefully that'll take care of those complaints that are coming in. Our investments, as we continue, we always use our LPRs that the city invested so much money in. So another hit, one of our LPRs got a hit over the 300 block of East Dania Beach Boulevard earlier this week. We ended up following the vehicle over to 300 North Beach Road, and once the vehicle pulled into a parking spot, we were safely able to box the vehicle in and get the driver out of the vehicle without incident. We placed that driver into custody. We were able to get that vehicle back to the owner, and also there was narcotics located on that individual. So again, the LPR is that investment that city put in. Again, every day it's showing the value to us in the police department. And also another really good arrest we had over at 150 South Bryan Road. We had a really good stalking harassment arrest. A female victim ended up calling us saying that she was being stalked. While speaking with her, the victim provided video proof that the arrestee was at her door, looking through the peephole and placing his ear on her door. The victim also explained that the arrestee grabbed her door handle and attempted to open it and enter the residence while she was holding it closed. The victim also went on to show the deputies a video of a prior incident in January in which the arrestee did actually enter her home while she was on vacation. Based on these circumstances, we went to make contact with this individual at his apartment. Upon seeing us, he attempted to flee back inside of his house. We were able to grab him, take him to the ground, and after a slight use of force, that individual was placed into custody, and he was charged with multiple felonies, and he's currently in jail. So it was a very good arrest. And last, I wanted to introduce a new member to our Broward Sheriff's Office team. So we have our new sergeant of our crime suppression team, which is such a vital part of our Dania Beach law enforcement services here. What our crime suppression team does every day out here. So I'd like to introduce Sergeant Roberto Valdez, and I'll give you a little bit of bio of him, and then I'll introduce himself to you guys officially. So he began his career in 2014 with the City of Homestead Police Department. In 2015, he transitioned to the Broward County Sheriff's Office, where he came here because he wanted professional development and career advance opportunities. Upon joining BSO, he was assigned to the City of North Lauderdale, where he later became a member of their crime suppression team as a detective. In 2020, he was then transferred to the city of Weston as a detective in their crime suppression team. He then was transferred over to our BSO money laundering task force, where he was also a detective in that unit, which is our SID. In June 2024, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant, and he was assigned to the city of Pompano Beach until his new assignment here with us in Dania Beach. And I want to let this commission know that we went through a lengthy interview process, and myself and Lieutenant Romano, we selected Sergeant Valdez. I believe he will be the perfect personality to fit for what we do here in the city and what you expect from our crime suppression team. So at that point, I'd like him to come up and introduce himself to you.
I put this down, he's a lot taller than me. Good evening, I'm happy to be here. I don't have much to say, other than I've heard great things about everyone since I got here. Today's my first day, but in interviews and talking to other members, I've heard that it's a great commission. You guys do a fantastic job, and from what I observe here, it feels more like a family than a city. And again, I'm thankful to be here.
Thank you. Welcome, Sergeant Valdez.
And last, I just want to leave, again, just one more time, just let you know that we have our operational plan in place for the beach, which I'll send that to the city managers, so you can see it next week. But we'll have deputies on the beach Saturdays and Sundays throughout all the spring break. And we also are increasing our patrols for Dania Point, the same we did last year. So all that will be covered for spring break. And that's all I have for this evening. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Oh, hold on. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor. Thanks, Cap. I just wanted to just personally thank you again for helping those folks over on the northeast side with those issues that they were having. Yes, and absolutely. You arrested how many?
I believe there was five. There's 5 juveniles that were arrested, and all of them are being given juvenile. I believe they were given juvenile civil citations because they didn't have previous arrest histories.
Right.
But all 5 were charged criminally for their charges.
Well, I appreciate your diligence on that. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Romoli, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And I also want to say thank you for the little operation you guys did this weekend that I had requested. And the manager's well aware of this. I had seen since I'm the homeless liaison person here, I had seen an event that was going on in another city that they were inviting people from all cities and actually had pickup spots for homeless individuals to go to pick up and drop off spots so that they could go and have, it was a very large thing that was going on with a lot of different resources, and it was a really good opportunity. I've seen these things before, I've participated in them, and they're very, very helpful to people. So I mentioned this, and the captain was kind enough to have a few of his deputies, 3 of his deputies, set up a tent and hand out flyers and make sure that our homeless population was aware of this event. And unfortunately, nobody took them up on it, but they were going to actually give them rides to this event and bring them back so that they could see if they could benefit from some of these resources. But there was good news from it, though, even though nobody took you up on it, right?
There was fantastic news from it, and I will tell you it was very successful. And even though no one took us up on the offer to go to Pompano, they made contact with, I believe they said 15 to 20 homeless individuals that day. Were able to give information out, able to talk to them. They actually were able to give them some resources that we had there at the tent, gave them some food, and still build that relationship with them. And hopefully that will assist too. They offered them shelter, offered them services. So again, it was a way for our homeless outreach team to again make contact with our residents, our homeless residents in Dania Beach, make contact with them, offer them assistance. So even though they didn't take their offer to Pompano, it was still a phenomenal opportunity for us to make contact with 20 people.
And develop that relationship, because that's important, the trust and everything else, so that this way when they do need something, they know not to be afraid that you actually can help them. So,
Absolutely. It was,
that was part of the goal. So
I think it was extremely successful.
Thank you for encouraging it. And
oh, absolutely. I think it was great, and my team did too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and they were very enthusiastic because I stopped by and visited with them as well. So, but anyway, but thank you again for doing that.
You know, dealing with the homeless is not easy.
It's
and
not
a lot
easy.
of them
It's a thankless job.
It's a thankless job, and a lot of them don't want services.
Correct.
So it takes time to build that rapport, build that trust, and that's a great step in continuing to build that trust with the individuals here that might not want help right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
You're very popular. Hold on, Chief.
Oh.
Vice Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Well, Chief, I have to say thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you all. Thank you, guys.
That's all.
Mayor,
Yes, go ahead, City Manager,
Thank you,
yes.
sir. I appreciate it.
yes.
I just wanted to share a part of a letter that was received by me and by Sheriff Tony. And it's about you and your team. And we received this letter from Rosita Kennensberg. And Rosita is the president of the Holocaust Museum here in our city. And she expresses her deep gratitude to Captain Tarala and his team. Captain Tarala, and I quote, and his officers are wonderful partners in helping ensure the safety of all the volunteers, students, and visitors, especially our Holocaust survivors. Captain Tarala always goes above and beyond in everything that he does for the people here in Dania Beach. And let me tell you, since I promoted you, we have had a multitude of Dania After Dark. Over 200,000 people have come to this city, and we haven't had not, knock on wood, thank you, Lord. But it doesn't happen by accident, ladies and gentlemen. The level of proactiveness of what he does, because your number one priority is safety, and to ensure the safety of all those that come here. And it doesn't happen, and you see those that are in uniform, you see the ones that are not in uniforms. We got people on the roof. The things that we do here are extremely proactive with great vision, and we couldn't be as safety as we are if it wasn't for you, Captain Tarala, and your team. So grateful. Thank you so much.
Manager. Thank you for
Madam
everything.
Mayor.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chief. All right, and for our next superstar on BSO, we have Chief Sergio Pellicer.
Let's go, Chief. Let's go.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City staff, and the great citizens of Dania Beach. So in January, we were pretty busy. We ran a total of 772 calls for service. 102 were fire-related and 670 were medical calls. Our inspectors were also busy. We're at 42% of our annual assignments. They completed 40 plan reviews and 284 total inspections over the month of January. Our fire truck, our fire trucks are the pumps on the fire truck. So we have to test them every year, make sure they comply, and we test them pretty vigorously to make sure and simulate in case they have to pump a big fire. And they go through their annual inspection every year to make sure that we keep our citizens safe. They just went through it, and we had no issues with our trucks. I want to thank Dania Point for their partnership. They continually, every day, pretty much allow us to train at their facilities. We use the parking garage. Not just my crews at Dania Beach. All our new recruits go through there, our cadets, and our specialty teams. So we get to train on simulate, fires, simulate different scenarios, and it's nice to have a facility where we can go there, no questions asked. We just let them know we're coming, and they say, no problem, we're here. So thank you, Dania Point. And then last but not least, our Safety Saturdays. They were held just recently, February 21st at PJ Mealy Park. It was a very successful Saturday. And the next one is scheduled for March 21st, 2026 at CW Thomas. So that'll be nice to be at a brand new facility. And well, hopefully we'll get a lot of our citizens to show up and have some CPR classes and learn some CPR. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm very excited about that, and hopefully we can promote it a little bit more, because it would be great to have a great showing for that. I've been through the program and got my certificate. I don't know if it's time to renew, but it is a great...
2 years.
2 years? Oh, well, I'm still good.
Yes.
But thank you,
Thank
Chief,
you.
for all that you do. It really means a lot, and your partnership is unmatched, so thank you so much. Anything for... Thank you. All right, we have, I think we've exhausted all of these citizens' comments. I have no further papers. Oh, I have two. I see two. I see two. Let's go with Mr. DeRosa first.
You're number one,
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Sean DeRosa. With regards to voting on any ordinances, I need to address something more fundamental. I need to address process. In city meetings, a pattern has developed. Staff presents, residents speak, public comments closes, and then staff re-engages to reframe, reinterpret, or counter resident testimony. Residents are not allowed to respond. The vote then proceeds. That structure may appear efficient, but it is not neutral. Public comment under Florida law is not symbolic. It is meant to be meaningful. When government employees are afforded the last substantive advocacy before a legislative vote, and residents are not permitted a brief rebuttal, the process becomes structurally imbalanced. This body holds legislative authority. Staff serve at your direction. The people elect you, not city employees, to make policy decisions affecting their homes, their neighborhoods, their safety, and their property values. When internal advocacy becomes the final influence before deliberation without equal opportunity for citizen response, it risks eroding public confidence in the neutrality of the proceeding. It is about structural fairness. Tonight, I respectfully request a simple safeguard. If staff provides a substantive clarification or advocacy after public comment closes, prior speakers should be afforded a brief, time-limited rebuttal before debate and vote. 2 minutes, that's all. That modest step would affirm that this commission operates not only in technical compliance with state statute, but in fidelity to representative government, for the people, by the people, through elected officials accountable to their constituents. In addition, allowing post-comment advocacy without rebuttal risks creating a legislative record that reflects one-sided influence at the final stage of decision-making. That is not merely a matter of optics, it is a matter of constitutional structure. Public comment is a limited public forum, and viewpoint neutrality is not optional. A simple rebuttal safeguard protects this commission from claims of procedural imbalance and reinforces public confidence that decisions are made after fair, even-handed participation. In matters that permanently alter single-family neighborhoods, procedural neutrality matters. The integrity of the record matters. Public trust matters. You can correct this tonight. I am formally placing this issue of procedural neutrality on the record on behalf of concerned residents who have expressed the same concern. 2 sentences. Legislative authority rests with elected officials accountable to the people. The process must reflect that structure. Please act accordingly in honor of representative government for the people and by the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Mr. Kirschberger.
Robert Kirchgraber, Dania Beach, Florida. I like our app. We'll give you a heads up. I do like the app. One of the things I do have a suggestion for the Dania Beach app is that when we have a viewer submitted request, like somebody sees trash and they take a picture of it, there's no follow-up from the city. There's no like, oh, look, we took care of it on this date. They're all open. So it'd be nice to get some closure on that, little improvement on communication, okay? With regards to presentations, it would be nice if we had some kind of PowerPoint, a pointer, because I'm sitting back there, I don't understand what we're looking at when we're looking at a park layout. I have no idea. I think that could definitely assist the gallery and everyone involved to understand what's going on when they put something up on the TV. We have an absolutely beautiful city hall here. Unbelievably beautiful city hall. Our buildings are amazing. For the life of me, folks, I don't understand why this building is not open on Friday. Why are people still working remotely? People work better under supervision in the office. It's a separation between home and work, okay? And I don't understand why this building is not open on Friday. We need this building to be opened. We, the taxpayers, should demand it. Everyone should be back to work. I don't know how it started or why it even continues, but we definitely need it to come back. It also sends a bad message to the other employees that are out there in the field every day. They don't get to work remote. Only the chosen ones that work in this building get to work remote. So I'm a little disappointed with that. I came in for a public records request. I was directed to the clerks, not the clerks, but the cashier's window. There was no paperwork, there's no form, there's no nothing. No one would help me. No one would get the clerk. No one would make the phone call. It was unbelievable. It was a very, very sad situation. Under the Florida Sunshine Act, we have to provide that to our citizens. It was a very simple request, but I was stonewalled here at the City Hall, and it's very concerning. We need better training, folks. We need better training of our employees. I can give a request to someone that's driving a city vehicle, and they have to take it. But when I go to the window, I was told the clerk is not available. No one's available. Not the mayor, not the attorney, not the city manager. Nobody. I said, well, can I go upstairs and meet with the deputy city clerk? No, you can't go upstairs. I think we need a little more training with our employees, please. The rules of decorum, you definitely snuck that in on us. You did add your little verbiage, but that's a policy. It's an ask. Your rules of decorum are an ask. It is not law. It violates our First Amendment. We should be able to come up here. If I want to address Mayor Joyce or Vice Mayor Marco, I should have that right rather than addressing as a whole.
Thank you, Mayor.
Typically what happens, ma'am, Miss Mayor, is that when this does go to court, when they do go to court, they always find not in favor of the council, they always find in favor of the citizen. So let's keep our lawsuits down, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then I believe that citizens' comments are closed. We do appreciate your feedback, and we will move on. We have already done the consent agenda, so we will move on to item 9. We have no bids and requests for proposals. Item 10, we have no bids or quasi-judicial or public hearing items on this agenda. We have already completed item 11.1, so we are now at item 11.2. Eve, if you would please read item 11.2.
An ordinance of the City Commission authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million to fund water treatment plant chemical feed system rehabilitation projects, providing for codification, conflict severability, and effective date. This is a public services item.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and City Attorney. Thank you so much for this first $1 million ordinance reading pertaining to the water treatment plant rehabilitation and replacement project for the chemical feed system. The city did advertise this as invitation to bid 2527, and we received 2 bids, with the lowest bidder being Razorback LLC bidding $1,979,307, hence the $1 million ordinance reading. I'll briefly explain what the project is for. The chemical feed system essentially provides disinfection of the raw water supply, and this project will replace the 15-year-old system, focusing on upgrades to the chemical dosing equipment, upgrading control panels, modernizing pumps, pipes, and other related components to keep the system reliable. It also includes a 1-year equipment warranty and a 3-year maintenance contract with 2 1-year renewal options. And that concludes this item.
Thank you, Mr. Schonscheider. This is a public hearing. Do I have anyone to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Do I have any comments, commission discussion from the commission, or a motion? Commissioner Llewellyn.
I have no comments. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 11.2.
I have a motion from Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Ryan.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment before I make the second. We went over this with staff. This is $1.97 million, and this is coming out of our water fund. And our water fund is running low right now. And from my understanding, we're going to combine our sewer fund and our water fund together to fund our water moving forward. And in the future, we're going to have a discussion about increased rates for sustainability when it comes to this. So I just want to make the commission aware of that. And with that, I second the motion to approve item 11.2.
All right, have a motion and a second from Commissioner Llewellyn, Commissioner Ryan. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, item 11.2 passes unanimously. Next, we will move on to item 11.3. Eve, if you could please read item 11.3.
An ordinance amending Chapter 28 of the Land Development Code, Part 2, to Site Development Regulations, Article 205, Tabular Summary of Site Development Standards for all zoning districts to create Section 205.11 through 16 to implement the city's Live Local Development Standards pursuant to Section 166.045 sub 51 subsection 7 of the Florida statutes as amended, amending Article 200 User Guide for Part 2 of the Code to create Section 200-60 Site Plan Review Procedures for Applications pursuant to 166.04151 subsection 7 of the Florida statutes to provide for development regulations and administrative review of certain affordable housing projects under state law, creating Section 200-61 Implementation Procedures for Site Plans utilizing the Live Local Act, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date community development.
Good evening. Corinne LaJoy, Deputy Director, Community Development. This is a text amendment, first reading, amending our current Live Local regulations to be in compliance with state law, recent state law. This was established in Legislative Session 24. It was amended in Legislative Session 25, and these amendments are to address those. It's currently maybe under modification currently, so we might be back as a result of this legislative session. That will have to wait to be seen. If I can get my presentation up, please. I can start speaking. As I mentioned, actually, I might have been off a little bit because my notes say in 2023, the Florida legislation adopted the Live Local Act. In 25, it was amended, and state statutes require these changes to municipalities to update the land development regulations to be current with the recent state laws. The Live Local Act requires municipalities to allow qualifying multifamily mixed-use residential developments in areas zoned for commercial, industrial, or mixed use when affordability thresholds are met. The purpose of the amendments are to maintain consistency with the Live Local Act as amended by state statutes, to codify state-mandated development entitlements, clearly define enforceable local standards, establish a transparent administrative review process, and support long-term affordable housing while maintaining compatibility. The Live Local developments must provide at least 40% affordable dwelling units, maintain the affordability for a 30-year minimum period, and record a covenant securing long-term compliance. The affordability and market rate units must be proportionally distributed within a building, constructed concurrently, designed and finished to equal standards as the other units. The state law preempts local regulations relating to density, height, and FAR, while other objective development standards may remain in place, which is what we were able to do with our own legislation and our land development regulations. The zoning eligibility and development intensities. The Live Local developments are permitted in all zoning districts where commercial, industrial, or mixed-use development is allowed, including the Port Everglades Development District. Maximum residential density is based on the highest density allowed anywhere in the city where residential uses are permitted. Maximum building height is based on the highest height allowed within 1 mile of the site, subject to statutory, agency, and historic limitations. Mainly that's the airport and the airport approach. They have the ability to provide additional height limitations. Minimum FAR is 150% of the highest FAR permitted where residential development is allowed. Bonus density, bonus height, variances, special exceptions are excluded from these calculations. So these are only where those densities and heights are allowed by right. Parking and industrial compatibility. The parking reductions are allowed and available upon request. 15% reduction if the property is within a quarter mile of transit stop, 15% reduction if the half mile of a major transportation corridor, no minimum parking within designated transit-oriented development areas. All parking reductions are processed administratively. Live Local developments on industrially zoned properties must meet separate residential, non-residential structures and provide
buffering and setbacks to ensure compatibility without reducing the density, height, or FAR. The administrative review process. Live local applications are reviewed and approved administratively. That process, however, includes a pre-application and coordination with staff, site plan submittal, and affordability documentation. A development review committee is part of our site plan review application, and administrative approval with conditions or denial by the community development director. The only way this would differ is if the development doesn't meet one of our regulations and they would require a variance. That would trigger public hearing. Otherwise, these projects would be approved administratively. Projects that meet statutory and code requirements do not require legislative quasi-judicial approval and may not be conditioned or on variances or waivers. It was basically what I said. If there's no variances or waivers, there's no public hearing. The proposed ordinance updates the city's land development regulations to maintain consistency with state law, clarify enforceable development standards, and establishes predictable administrative review process for Live Local developments. Staff recommends the approval of the Live Local amendments to ensure statutory compliance and consistent administration. And we were able to work with a consultant who is very familiar with a lot of these statutes, so they really helped us flush out our current regulations and amend based on state statutes. But that is our presentation, and I'm available if you have any questions.
All right, this is a public hearing. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak for or against this item? Mr. DeRosa.
Good evening, Sean DeRosa, Mayor and Commissioners. This is not about whether we comply with state law. We must. The Live Local Act, Section 166.04151, preempts certain zoning standards. But tonight's question is simple. Does state law require you to permanently amend Dania Beach's comprehensive plan and zoning code? Where does the statute say the city shall amend its comprehensive plan? Section 166.04151, subsection 7A, states that a municipality may not require a comprehensive plan amendment for the height, zoning, and densities authorized under the Act. The statute requires only administrative approval of qualifying projects that meet its criteria. It does not mandate permanent comprehensive plan or zoning code amendments as a condition of compliance. That is a legislative choice. And once Live Local language is permanently embedded into your comprehensive plan, reversing it later, if the statute changes or sunsets or is modified, it becomes difficult. Repeals will be required, and developers may argue vested rights based on language adopted locally. Now consider Dania Beach. Dania Beach is 8 square miles. We are experiencing continuous gridlock on US 1 and Dania Beach Boulevard, not just at peak hours. Backups extend all the way toward Bryan Road and past airport runway corridors. These are evacuation routes. These are first responder routes. These are critical stormwater corridors. Increased density means increased traffic and increased stormwater runoff. When roads and drainage systems are already strained, additional density compounds congestion and flooding. Nothing in the Live Local Act eliminates your authority to document infrastructure strain. Nothing compels affirmative endorsement of density policy. So the framing tonight should not be, if we don't vote yes, we'll be sued. It should be, show us the statutory language that compels this vote. If it cannot be cited, this is a legislative choice, not a statutory command. And that distinction belongs on the record. Mayor and Commissioners, if the law does not force you to permanently rewrite Dania Beach zoning code, then you are not voting against compliance. You are voting to protect an 8 square mile city already under gridlock, stormwater strain, and evacuation risk. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Any further comment on this item? All right, they will go ahead and close public comment. And, oh, Mr. Kirschberger.
I know it's getting late. Everybody wants to go home. Me too.
Go ahead.
I just ask you to vote no. okay, on this, plain and simple. I've spoken up before about high rises and density and things like that. We need a little more plan. And, you know, we're concerned about being in compliance with the state, okay? And that's certainly a valid concern, right? But yet we're not in compliance with other things, like the rules of decorum, okay? That's a violation of our civil rights to shut us down. So with that, I end my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirschberger. All right, with that, I will close public comment and open it up to the commission for discussion or motion. Vice Mayor.
Make a motion past item 11.3.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Llewellyn. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, item 11.3 passes unanimously. Item 11.4, Eve, if you could please read item 11.4.
Yes, ma'am. An ordinance of the City Commission pertaining to the subject of legal and official advertisements, updating the Code of Ordinances to allow for publication of advertisements and public notices on publicly accessible websites pursuant to the Florida law, providing for codification, conflicts, and severability and effective date. This is a city clerk item.
Thank you, Mayor. So as you all know, when myself, the manager, and Eve, our city attorney, met with you individually over the phone, spoke with you individually over the phone, and explained to you what my proposal is to the city manager. So just a little synopsis if you want me to just recap it. In 2022, in the 2022 legislative session, House Bill 7049 was signed into law, which allows government agencies to post their notices online versus in a print newspaper. So the county has designated Civic Plus as the county's publicly accessible website in order to comply with this House Bill and new law. It is my proposal to be able to allow for us to do that versus in print newspaper for a few reasons. It will be a little more transparent. We will be able to post these public notices on our city website for all residents to be able to see and sign up to be notified to receive these publications as well, free of charge versus a newspaper in which, you know, most people have to pay for the newspaper to be delivered to their home. Which results in a tremendous cost savings. As I've mentioned, the city website will be automated and accessible on our city website for everybody to see, as I mentioned. Residents can sign up to receive these notifications for all public notices or certain public notices that they just wish to be notified about, including bids, commission meetings, board meetings, legal ads, all public notices that we post. I will be working with the marketing team, so this will be stretched out. We're planning to do some marketing on this for a 6-month period to inform all of our residents and notify them how this will work, the transition into this, so that everybody is aware. It's not going to be an overnight thing, and we hope to have this go live in the new fiscal year, October 1st. So I'll be working with marketing to post this on all social platforms, in our spring newsletter. We're going to be posting in the Sun Sentinel as well, just informing those who do get it of the new transition. So with that, and given the House bill being passed, we do have code language that we need to revise our code to include this language to allow for the public notifications online. So that's my request.
Excellent job, City Clerk. Do I have any Commissioner Romoli, do I have a discussion from the commission?
The city clerk already said it just in the very end there, that we're going to do everything we can to notify our residents of these changes, and you're going to expand it out over a course of time. I just want to emphasize that to whoever's watching and the people here, that we're going to do everything we can to make sure everyone's informed the best way possible. Thank you for that.
All right, then I think that was a great point to reiterate. Commissioner Romoli, do we have a motion? No, not a public hearing.
I'll make a motion to pass, what is that, 12.1? No,
No.
I'm sorry, 11.4? Is that right? 11.4, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. Vice Mayor?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. All right, 11.4 passes unanimously. We have already completed item 12.1 and item 13.1. We are now on to appointments, item 14.1, which is the advisory board appointments. I did receive an email from the Housing Authority, and they are offering to screen candidates for me, so I will work with them in order to do so, but we have not found an eligible candidate yet to fill the position. So that is my appointment. What about you, Vice Mayor? Or is this? No, I mean, you have a Marine Advisory Board appointment available. It's on mine.
Well, yes, you do have, that's weird because I see it on the agenda. That's okay. Okay, we'll put it on.
I'll have to,
again.
I'll remember that, and I will start asking around. Is Rob still on there? Because I'll call him and see if he has anybody else, because he is in the boating industry. He's actually a Marine, a police officer for, Dania Beach resident, a police officer for Miami in a boat, speedboat, fast boat.
Okay.
All right, we'll get with you.
We'll look into it and get back.
I'll call you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And that brings us to our item 15, commission comments, and we will begin with Commissioner Llewellyn.
I'll be very brief. You all heard about the homeless thing initiative that we did this past weekend. I'm glad it was successful. And again, shout out to especially the deputies that participated, because they did a very nice job. I also just want to let you all know, I received a very nice thank you note from Pastor Bob over at Community Bible Church for our unanimous decision to help them out with some funding for the emergency situation they had over there with their with the drainage or the sewer line issue. It's addressed to me, but I wanted to share it with all of you because we all voted in favor of it. So I will make sure that a copy of it is printed. I just got it this morning. There was an issue with the email. It didn't go through. So I will have a copy of it printed and left for each of you, or sent off to all of you so that you have it. I also wanted to say great job to our Parks and Rec team again for another lovely event this evening for Black History Month. And I know that the children and families that were there all really enjoyed it. They seemed to really enjoy it, and it was nice to walk into City Hall, and it didn't look like City Hall tonight. It was kind of interesting. Anyway, that's all I really have. So thank you very much. And like I said, I would be brief. Have a good night.
Thank you, Commissioner Llewellyn. Commissioner Romoli.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, I just want to echo what Commissioner Llewellyn said about tonight's event. Beautiful. You always rock it out and do the best ever. We're just so proud of your team. So thank you very much for a great evening. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Commissioner Romoli. Commissioner Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have a couple things to go over. First, I want to talk about the Marine Advisory Board. I did get a suggestion from them. They said that they wanted to coincide with the city and do like a water cleanup as we do a beach cleanup. So they said they could put a boat out there and they could clean up, they could scuba dive and clean up the ocean as well. And they're all for that. And they said they were trying to reach out to the city to see if they could get approval for that. So I just wanted to make staff aware of it. The Marine Advisory Board's been coming up with some pretty good ideas. I know they want to try and bring back the Marine Flea Market too. That could be done privately. And the manager of Harbor Town was at the Marine Advisory Board meeting also, and he was discussing some sort of like beach cleanup, ocean and waterway cleanup that you could do. So people on the Marine Advisory Board, residents that have boats, can meet at IT Parker Center, they can launch their boat at IT Parker Center. You know, maybe we could waive the fees of them towing their boats, and then they could go around Dania and clean up all the waterways and then come back to the IT Parker Center and do like, you know, a nice event or whatnot. I think that's an excellent utilization of the IT Parker Center, and to show our Marine Advisory Board that we're listening, and to clean up our waterways and our beaches. You know, it's not all just trash that's, you know, on land. We have a lot of pollution in our waterways, and that's one of our most valuable resources. It is our most valuable resource, let's be honest here. I had the pleasure of presenting the proclamation to Mount Zion, the Greater Mount Zion African Methodist Episcopal Church on Sunday, and they were celebrating their 117th anniversary. So it was quite an accomplishment. They're not even the oldest church in Dania either. St. Ruth is. But 117 years, they were established by some prominent families here in Dania, including the Collins family on Dania Beach Boulevard. Then they moved over to where they are on Northwest 5th Avenue, got destroyed by a hurricane, and then they rebuilt it with the help of the community, and it's been going strong ever since. So it was a pleasure to be involved with them again and present that proclamation. I wanted to give you guys an update on Boys State. I completed my final interview on Boys State on Monday morning at South Broward High School, and we initially had four boys that we were going to send from Boys State through Post 209, Post 304. We have one kid. So what happened is, you know, usually get two delegates and two alternates. So at Hollywood Hills, we had two alternates, two delegates. South Broward, we had one delegate, one alternate, and then we even got one from Chaminade. We got a delegate also. And I'd like to let Commissioner Llewellyn know also, found a kid from Dania who came forward from Hollywood Hills. So we do have a kid from Dania. And here's the best part is, you know, our city funded only 4 spots for Boys State, and I reached back out to Post 304 and reached back out to the head of Boys State. For all of you who don't know, Boys State is a mock government program for young men, and they have a girls' state as well that the mayor's involved with in our auxiliary. Between 17 and 18 going their senior high school year, and they learn about mock government up in Tallahassee. It's the most talented young men in the state going up to compete, and they run for local elected positions all the way up to running for county positions, to the state, to governor. And I attended it. The commission knows I attended it, and I support it. So we got 2 kids from Hills and 2 alternates, and after speaking to American Legion Post 304 Commander Gunny, they managed to raise the funds for the 3 more kids. So we're going to send a total of 7 boys through Post 209 and Post 304 to this Boys State program in June. And I will make sure that they all report back to us after their experience, sometime after the summer. So I'm pleased to report on that. And yeah, we had the Black History Month dinner. It was a good way to top it off as a city here tonight. And we had some, like the presenters for PJ Milley. I said, hey, we do this every time, guys. So feel free to come here for any city commission meeting. And this is one thing I want to touch on because I'm a member of the Solid Waste Authority. And we just hired, I had a meeting with the Solid Waste Authority earlier, and I told you guys the old director resigned, but we just hired a new executive director. And I want to get it on our agenda for our commission probably within the next month or 2 for us to make a decision on the facilities amendment agreement that we all have to get involved with. And we need 80% of the population of the county of the 28 cities that are involved in order to pass this facilities agreement. And I've been working on it personally for 3 years. I know a lot of other people have been working on this for much longer, up to 15, 20 years. So it's been a pleasure. It's been tough to be on it, but we've definitely worked out a lot. The master plan looks well. The facilities agreement looks conducive. And it will, overall, in the long-term plan, it'll make us more of a sustainable community. And it'll help us negotiate our rates better because of the capacity that we have when all 28 cities get involved. And I went to the Wheelabrator site, all right? I don't know if you guys know the FCC Wheelabrator site, the WTE facility that we have here and just on the outskirts of our city on 441 and Griffin Road. So WTE is waste to energy, and it's where they bring in municipal solid waste and they burn it and they turn it into electricity. And it's quite an operation. They show you how they reduce, there's no smoke coming out of there. It's just steam. And I would encourage anybody on this commission to go. If you want, just reach out to Maxine. I'll put you in touch with the gentleman, and you guys could go because, you talk about trash and you talk about the issues that we have, but it's one thing just to talk about it and put your trash bin out on your curb and forget about it, and that's it. It's another thing to actually go to this facility and you see 16,000 tons of trash that are brought in daily. And there's 2 crane operators putting them into the 3 boilers that they have. And they're producing, they're getting rid of our waste and they're producing electricity. So it's quite an operation, and I encourage anybody, and even on the city, even our residents, they could go. We could schedule some sort of tour, and it's right on the outskirts of our city, and it's something that I think everybody should see, especially our elected officials. And yep, with that, I am done. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Commissioner Ryan. Vice Mayor?
I don't have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I think we all are, but I have a few things that I would like to say, beginning with thank you. This was a beautiful Black History Month all the way through. It is coming to an end. I don't know if many people know, but a lot of different cities are celebrating this Black History Month as the centennial of 100 years. 2026 marks the centennial of Negro History Week, and that was the first established in 1926. So as 2026, this is also something that a lot of cities are celebrating, and I think the city of Dania Beach has just done an outstanding job this year, as opposed to we just continue to get better with celebrating our different cultures and diversity within the city. So thank you for the evening tonight, which also spilled over. I mean, we've been working for so many years to open C.W. Thomas Park, and that was also during Black History Month, but it was just a magnificent, wonderful, wonderful event. Orchestrated by our Parks and Recreation team. The energy, I didn't know we had that many kids in that neighborhood. I mean, they were jumping with excitement and pride. And so I really want to thank everyone who came out. And I am a foodie, so whoever that caterer was for that park was absolutely delicious. And thank you for that. Next, we're celebrating culture all the way around. On Friday, I think Commissioner Ramoli and Commissioner Ryan and I went to the iftar breaking of the fast dinner with the Dawoodi Boras, and that was just a beautiful event as well. That community just embraces Dania Beach. They're all about community service, and so it was, and Chief Tarala was there as well. So it was good to have everyone to come out and observe Ramadan and our partners who always show up for us for every single event. So it was very heartwarming to attend that event. Maxine was there and her sisters. Everybody was there. We had a great time. Our principals were there. Our assistant principal was there. So they've expanded it and really made it a community event. So thank you all for coming and supporting the diversity of religions. And we look forward to a National Day of Prayer, our second one in May again. And with that, I also had dinner there, and then I also had dinner this week with Mayor Elan Davidi, with mayors from both Broward County and Miami-Dade County. It was Mayor Elan Davidi. He's the mayor of Sderot in Israel, and he really was just talking about how leadership is really tested after October 7th, and that having the support of neighboring mayors in South Florida has really been really important to him, and that we continue to work together to collaborate together in order to make all of our communities stronger. I also attended the Port Everglades. There was the startups in Israel. It was the Port of Ashdod. They were a company or the port in Israel, and they were really talking about how we can use what is now termed as the mega zone for new technologies and startups in our specific area. They're using airways, they're using AI, not to replace humans, but to work in conjunction with humans in order to improve their processes and expedite things and make them a lot better. So I really appreciate the interfaith leadership and all of the new innovation that is coming from globally to Broward County, to Dania Beach, and they were very, very, very excited. It's very interesting, so I will be talking more with them about some of these new startups. We also celebrated our very own Jackson's Ice Cream 70th birthday or anniversary. It turned 70, and I got to see, I know Commissioner Ramoli was there, and Linda was just so full of pride. It was just beautiful to see everyone at Jackson's Ice Cream for their 70th anniversary. Lastly, I attended the grand opening of the $90 million waste management recycling facility in Pembroke Pines, and it is state of the art. Waste management continues to be a strong partner with the city of Dania Beach. They support us for a lot of things, and this new way that we're able to recycle is just going to really be a game changer. So glad to be able to continue to support them with Broward County and elected officials from all across the county. And with that, let me see. Oh, I want to remind everybody with the high schooler that Broward League of Cities has the scholarship applications that are open through the tomorrow. So please, if you have anybody, there are $2,500 scholarships that we are giving to each student who wins the scholarship. So with that, I want to thank everybody for being professional. Thank you for a great night, and have a great one. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.